Here I come, Al Burris.
Here I come, Georgia Parole Boot Camp.
Here I come, America. Pushing yourself behind the limits of human suffering. Push yourself to push yourself. Push yourself. Mind, body, soul. To become something else. All right, go for it. Oh. Okay, do we have audio now? Please let me know. Give me the green light. Give me a hint. Give me a clue. Oh man, crazy! Oh, cocaine's a hell of a drug, man. That's some new shit. Please, man, tell me more. Tell me more. Still silent. Fuck my life. Yeah, let's definitely cut out Streamlabs. That's a great idea. Great idea. You can hear it? Yeah? You got it. Okay, are we sure now? Let's 10 seconds. 10. Let's all meditate together. Okay, we're going to start at the count of 9. 10 is just way too many digits for my brain to handle, so we're going to start at the number 9 and work our way down to 1 because, again, I told you last time, no one's a zero. Everyone is something. You might be next to nothing, but at least you're something. All right. 9. 8. 7. 6. All right, that's enough. Do you guys hear it? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So now this is exactly why I do this at 4 o'clock in the morning. Because, with only 29, 30 people, not that it's only 29 or 30 people, you are the 29 most valuable people in the world to me right now, right here at this moment. So that's why, God, I mean, if I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands and millions of people in here and then you still couldn't hear me, then I'd have to break out my mime routine. And I don't think you guys are prepared to see my Marcel Marceau, which I'm sure you guys don't even know who the hell that is. I think it was a mime like back in the 50s, black and white, maybe before talkies or something. I don't know. Anyway, so what do you mean meh? First Kelly Wilson says that I'm ripped. Now it's meh. There we go. Stereo clicked on. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So you guys are probably wondering, what the hell am I talking about? The moment of truth. Well, here in a couple of hours, I'm going to have to go to Charlottesville, Virginia, home of the University of Virginia, the most prestigious school. Or is it prestigious? Is it prestigious? I think if you're British, it's prestigious. And if you're just an American, it's prestigious. In any case, that's where I'm going to the Heptology Center and the Digestive Health Center, hopefully to get cleared to go back to work and also to exercise and to be amongst people and finally get into this whole YouTube thing rather than, shooting in my, makeshift incarceration chamber. I've been in solitary confinement for the most part, except for enjoying the company of you fine people. And I'm ready to get out because for real, I really like to be out and about. I am a people person, even though I've turned into kind of this crazy little hermit over the last 5 or 6 months. I really like to be around people. I want to be social. I want to get out of this whole anxiety-ridden, post-traumatic stress disorder-driven insanity that I'm currently living in and just start testing the waters a little bit with normal people, or at least as normal as they can be. Well, everybody's normal relative to me, right? So, Is the AC working in here? I don't think it is. Man, it's hot. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's back on meth again. Smoking that pipe. I can tell you this. I would never, ever, I promise you this, you will never, ever have to worry about me smoking meth out of a pipe. I'll shoot it. I'm not going to smoke it, just so you know. All right, look, let me go ahead and get, so I'm nervous. I really want to get into this. I am very, very, very nervous because the last time I had my panels done, my levels were getting pretty good. Now, I don't know if you know anything about AST levels. I know someone in the last chat mentioned that they were a nurse or claimed to be. Who the hell knows? I mean, you could be whatever you want to be on the internet, right? It's kind of like jail. You know, jail stands for just ask, I'll lie. Excuse me. What the hell was that? You got to be kidding me. Why is it doing that? But anyway, to give you an idea of how high my liver enzyme levels were, my ALT, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, you can Google it. You're more than welcome to check it out. In fact, I'll even show you the receipts. I got my paperwork. I carry my paperwork with me. It goes with me wherever I go, just like old Wes Watson. I got my paperwork. So they were over 2,500. The AST levels were over 1,500. Billy Rubin, which I believe, and you keep in mind, this is just a layman's understanding of, I guess, liver toxicology or whatever. Anyway, it's, I think it's the kind of, speaking of toxicology, it measures toxicity in between the liver and the gallbladder and the pancreas and all spleen, some of that stuff. Maybe all that stuff, I don't know. But the higher the number, the worse off you are. You want to be in the 0.2 to 0.9 neighborhood. I was at one time over 8.0, 8.2. What the fuck is this? Excuse my language. What is that? Developer warning for package com.facebook.katana failed to post notification on channel null. See log for detail. What is that? Is somebody or one of you people or somebody trying to hack me or something? Are you trying to, what the hell does that mean? Does anybody know what that means? I'm going to go down to the bottom of the chat. So anyway, that's what it was at its peak. And at that point in time, I had to be admitted to the ER. Whereas I mentioned before, I had stayed in the ICU a total of about 3 weeks over the last 3 months. And, and it was real touch and go. I mean, the last word that I got before I went in was, I said, listen, give it to me straight. I need to know, cut the crap. I'm not going to be able to get there for a couple of hours, but I want to know what the hell I'm walking into. And they said, your liver might be dying. Or liver might be failing. And I mentioned before, or I'll mention it again, is I automatically felt a lot better. Just knowing the biggest fear I have, and I think addicts and alcoholics in general, is a fear of the unknown. You know, what could possibly happen next? And now that I knew what was sort of going on, I felt a little bit better. And so that was a few months ago. And of course, I've had loads and loads and loads of blood drawn, urine, panels. I've had MRIs. They checked the ammonia levels in my brain, which were kind of not normal for a little while. And it affects your equilibrium and it affects your lucidity. You almost feel like you're drunk or kind of borderline slow. And not only just your body, but your mind as well. And it's just weird because you're trying to explain this to somebody. And I did for like a month. I'm like, listen, something is happening to me. This isn't normal. Normally I have lots of energy. I got go, go, go and no slow, slow, slow. And now here I am. I can't hold down food. I got down to 140 some odd pounds. I couldn't eat. I took a sip of a drink, water, throw it up. Coffee, throw it up. Anything. I mean, it would just come right up. Food, are you kidding me? And then gradually I got to liquid diets, not alcohol. Don't get any ideas. And so anyway, all these, I guess, chickens came home to roost. 40 years worth of, or I guess 20 years worth of, putting bad shit in your body. Just because you get sober doesn't mean you necessarily have moved on, past all that stuff. So anyway, tomorrow, or I guess today, what is it, 3:48 in the morning, my time, Eastern Standard Time, I'll have to check in at 9 a.m. in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is about a 2-hour drive from me now, and then I'll have my appointment at 9:30, and they'll either admit me based on some panels that they've already drawn. They have what are called slow bleeder panels, and it measures antibodies and whether you're reactive or not. And I'll find out. Hopefully, I'll find out at least if I'm in that 98 or 2% bracket, because with what I have, it's very rare, right? 3,200 cases, according to the Center for Disease Control, a government agency. 32 cases a year in the United States. And I have one of them. Lucky me, right? Frederick County, which is where I live, there has not been a single reported case in over 10 years. Lucky me, right? In the state of Virginia last year, 69 reported cases. Lucky me, right? What are you going to do? So anyway, 90% of those 3,200, they clear it. And they may or may not carry the antibody, but they will build an immunity to it naturally. If you medicate it, yes, it'll mitigate some of the symptoms. It'll make it easier to cope. You'll go to sleep. One thing about the liver, when you have a bad liver disease, it will make you scratch everywhere. It'll make you feel like your bugs are biting you all over your body. It's almost impossible to sleep. It's not unlike a heroin withdrawal, something I'm not completely unfamiliar with. So most of that's gone away. Most of that's gone away. But like I said, tomorrow, hopefully I'll be able to find out because typically we've done telehealth appointments, or at least over the last couple of months because of COVID and everything else. And I could just go to urgent care, or I could go to the hospital locally here, and they could draw my blood, get the results back in a couple of days. They'll fax them or send them via email or whatever it is that they do over to UVA, which is a couple of hours away, and then they'll communicate like that. I mean, after all, it's 2020, right? But now they want me physically to be there. And, hospitals are full and it matters. When I was admitted last time, they literally had to clear a spot for me. And I said, whoa, don't worry about me. If somebody's on their deathbed, please, seriously, I'll make it. Because the doctor said, listen, I have never, ever in my life, I've been doing this for a very long time, I've never seen anybody with levels like yours who wasn't orange. Not yellow, but orange. I've never seen anybody in my entire life that had levels like yours that didn't have at least a male, like a pregnant, distended belly, where literally their organs, their liver, some of their other vitals are actually protruding from their guts. Then I didn't have that. So it was a big mystery for a while what was going on, and it took a couple of weeks to figure it out. But thankfully, I had the best team, I want to say, in the state of Virginia. I got to believe that. Somebody was looking out for me. Somebody wanted me to continue on. Again, whether it's God, the universe, some kind of molecular force, the other string on the end of the theory, the edge of the flat earth, I don't know. But whatever it is, maybe it was David Lynch. A lot of people, it's funny, a lot of people ask me about that, about being religious. I'll just go off on another little tangent here. Because honestly, I can't sleep. I'm going to have to drive myself a couple of hours away. And I feel like if I go to sleep, I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to wake up. I'm not going to wake up. The alarm, I'm going to sleep through it. And then what happens? Then I'll still not know. And I'll be in that space of fear for God only knows how long. Who knows how long it would take for me to go back up there. And of course, they're like everybody else. Medical professionals are just like other people. They're not immune to, this isn't necessarily Mother Teresa. I'm sure she had a skeleton or two in her closet too, right? If you put forth the effort, just like in recovery, addiction, all this stuff, you put forth the effort, they feel like you're going after your health with every fiber of your being, in which case in me, I don't eat processed foods. Well, rarely, every once in a while. I'll snack on them with double or something just for the sport of it. But no drugs, no booze, no bullshit, no kratom, no CBD oil, nothing. Advil, you can't even take aspirin. And of course, and then no processed foods. Stay away from the fatty stuff. Not slow carbs, but simple carbs, which of course turn into sugar, like bread and everything else. So Anyway, thank you for getting me back on point. So a lot of people ask me, they say, well, who is your higher power? And you know what's funny about this is I actually this is crazy. I don't think I've ever told anybody this ever in my couple of months of kind of doing this. Now, some people say, well, I don't believe in God, but I got to find the higher power. I have to have something greater than myself in order to get outside of this, get outside of self and get into something greater. You know, there has to be some sort of greater power out there, because if you're simply the only one in control of your own destiny, and a lot of times I take it back and I believe that I am. But that's not true, right? Every successful person, they don't do it on their own. And I mentioned last time, it takes a village, right? You know, even if your mother or your father don't help you, even if you got that job on your own, somebody had to hire you, right? In order to do a good job, somebody had to train you. You're not completely self-taught. And then somebody had to recognize your value, so you had to be promoted, right? So if none of those things happen, let's say you're just climbing the ladder of a company, like I'm sure a lot of you have. Well, you did it all on your own? Really? You just rolled out of bed one day, you learned all the tools of the trade, you purchased said tools. Did an alarm clock help you get up? Did you build the alarm clock? Well, whoever built that alarm clock, hey, they don't deserve any credit. Everybody deserves credit. It ain't all you. So anyway, so you got to find this higher power. That gets me all the way back around to this. And, you know, it's something I struggle with because I'm not a particularly religious person. Now, I grew up in a household that wasn't particularly religious until my mother remarried when I was almost 9 years old. And my stepdad is very, he's a deacon at a Baptist church. He sings in the choir. His whole family, that whole side. And he's practically the one that raised me, not my biological father, but my stepfather. So if biological father, Yanni Sr., if you happen to be watching this, I appreciate you planting the seed. But the best person, the best man I've ever known is my stepdad. So thank God or whomever for him. Nothing against you, you just weren't equipped for the job. But I appreciate being here in any case. So, beating women, who the fuck are you talking about? So anyway, so this is the thing. So I got this thing, it's called, I don't even know what to say, even want to know what to say. So anyway, David Lynch, right? Is he my favorite filmmaker? No. I mean, a lot of his films, let's be real, if any of you know who he is, they're kind of inscrutable. They're very surreal, right? Very visual. But, you know, the stories, it takes a lot of leaps of logic. You really have to be in the flow. You know, you have to give yourself over to his reality because it's something very different. He's not a conventional storyteller, right? These are dreams that he has projected onto the screen. Somehow, some way, he has translated his visions and dreams onto celluloid, film or video, whatever the format is. And I happen to see him on YouTube. I mention a lot of times that I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but he started doing these weather reports. And the odd thing about this guy is that he's such a, for lack of a better term, he's kind of a weirdo, which I identify with because I'm a weirdo too. But he's very strange. He's a very strange individual. He's got amazing hair. I wish I had his hair. I mean, my God, he's like 75 years old. And, you know, his first film was Eraserhead. And the guy's from Baltimore, there's a lot of weird people in Baltimore. And most of these weird people are on heroin. But that's a story for another time. So, Edgar Allan Poe from Baltimore. There must be something in the heroin in Baltimore. I guess it's raw, it's uncut. I don't know. Anyway. So I started watching these weather reports, and they're just very dry. It looks like he's in a bunker, and he's got this ham radio thing set up, and he has a couple of little instructional videos. They progressively got more. And you'll have to excuse me, I do get dehydrated. Part of my liver issue is dehydration, so I have to stay constantly hydrated. Of course, you probably wonder, well, what the hell are you doing with all this caffeine? Well, if I didn't have the caffeine, it's the only thing propping me up at this point because I experience so much fatigue day in and day out. Now, sometimes I have an enormous amount of energy, but other times it just, out of nowhere, it just hits me like a ton of bricks. I got nothing. So I don't want it to hit me like a ton of bricks and I've got to stay up. So maybe the caffeine will do something. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I have ADHD to such a degree, and I even talked about this with my psychiatrist, that the caffeine really doesn't do anything. I mean, I could drink like 500 milligrams of caffeine and what would happen? I'd go right to sleep if I wanted to. I don't even know if it does anything. It's probably more of a placebo effect. But in any case, I've gradually have become accustomed to the taste. Kind of like beer. I mean, who the hell drinks beer the first time and says, man, this is delicious? I mean, this is better than cheesecake. This is better than the first time I had sex. Now, some of you in this chat, I'm sure, haven't ever done that before, and that's okay. It's pretty good. The first time's a little choppy, but you'll get used to it. You'll learn to enjoy it. It'll be an acquired taste from top to bottom. You'll understand what I mean one of these days when you grow up. So, in any case, David Lynch, he started talking about fishing. I watched this class with him, and it was how he arrived at ideas. And he started talking about meditating, and I've been doing this cognitive behavioral therapy, usually twice a week with my therapist out of Winchester Medical Center. I'm actually in a pilot program where we do it twice a week. There are 2 people on staff there, someone oversees the whole deal, and I happen to be one of the 12. When I had the opportunity, it was presented to me, I jumped all over it. It was just right time, right place, and right frame of mind. Because that's a lot of life, right? Just like fishing for the idea. So we'll go back to David Lynch, and then we'll get to that, because they are actually inextricably linked. They're connected. I talked earlier about getting in the stream. And when I say earlier, I don't mean earlier in this chat. I mean, I think a couple of days ago. You know, don't swim upstream. Stay in the flow. Align your spirit, whatever it is, your inner force. Eventually, every once in a while, it will align with the universe's. And you'll feel it. And things will be easy. You won't be fighting it. The obstacles will sort of drift away. It won't last forever. But when you get in that space, don't take it for granted. Take advantage of it. And allow it to take advantage of you. So, David Lynch, aha. Again, not a huge David Lynch fan. He's an excellent filmmaker, whatever. He's very interesting guy. Does a lot of things. Stop motion animation, very cool guy. He started off as a sculptor and a painter, I believe. So I'm watching this class with David Lynch. I've been watching a lot of classes lately because I really haven't had much better to do except become a little more learned and acquire some new skills because I've been on quarantine. So I'm watching these weather reports and I just think, there's something so, for somebody to deliver something that's so banal, right? It's just very plain. The weather outside, it's slightly cloudy, high of 74, low of 62, kind of balmy, a little brisk, whatever. I mean, he's delivering a weather report in the driest way possible, no pun intended. Even if there's a lot of humidity, get it? It's a really bad joke. So I start cracking this open. Like, what is driving this? What is this all about, right? It just, I don't know. It was just like a puzzle that perplexed me. Why is he doing this? I still don't know exactly. I think it's a coping mechanism for him. He was promoting a short film, whatever. But I think also it's a coping mechanism for him to deal with the chaos that we're living in right now with the world. And so I start doing a deep dive on David Lynch. I start watching some of his films. I've seen most of them before, but I start looking at them a little more closely. Reading behind the lines, really understanding the visual thrust of what's going on here. And then I start taking this class, this online class that he's teaching. And it's not a very conventional class. You know, most classes, they have a book. These are the lessons. We start from the beginning, get to the end. And at the end, hopefully you've learned a few things. This class with him was very, very, very abstract. And mostly it was about fishing for ideas. So if you can find this on the internet, I actually paid for it, but if you can find it on the internet, I'll do my very best without doing copyright infringement to try and relate some of the things that I've learned. My brain is very overactive right now, so it'll probably have to be, for another time, but it really just sunk in. One of the lessons was this. So the person that taught him how to sculpt and paint, I want to say it was paint. I'm honestly forgetting sculpt, whatever, doesn't matter. He said for 4 hours, I need 4 hours of silence every day. A true artist, 4 hours of silence every day to get 1 hour of work done. And then that ratio goes up from there. Any distraction for me, for him, and I related to this immediately, any little teeny tiny distraction, a bug lands on my shoulder, a phone call from my phone, somebody upstairs, going up the stairs, falling down, a little kid making a noise, which another thing is, a lot of reason why I do this really late at night is the people upstairs are loud as hell. They have 2 little kids. One of them is 3 months old. The other is like 2.5. This kid is going to have some kind of future. He's quite the hellion. But it's almost rude and inconsiderate for me to do any live streams or record any videos and have this ding, 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 all that stuff going on. It sounds like a freaking bowling alley upstairs. You guys don't want to hear that. And I don't want to get distracted by that because every single little thing just could bounce me off course. And I want to get at least keep that ratio, that 4 to 1. 1 hour of work done for every 4 hours of complete silence. And so I've learned to embrace the silence. So at this point, you're wondering again, what are you talking about? I thought we were talking about higher powers. We are. David Lynch doesn't know me. And I don't personally know David Lynch, but I've become so familiar with his work and his methodology that this was the keystone to unlocking some productivity for me. Instead of thinking about doing things, now working and having a career and all of that, selling cars as I normally would, I've had a couple of businesses doing contracting work, and I've generally been successful at all those. Providing drugs didn't get in the way. Of course they have, and then, not so successful. Now that that's completely out of the equation and I'm fighting for my life, where's my purpose? So David Lynch at this point became my guide because that little piece of advice for me I wanted to try it. I really wanted to try it because the person that gave it to him was very accomplished. And he spoke of this person in such reverent tones. And now I really respected, appreciated, and understood, what David Lynch was going for. As an artist, what he needed to do in order to get the work, which isn't really work. It's an expression of joy, pain, ripped out of your inner being. And so I tried it in various capacities. You guys would be amazed at how much stuff, whether they're photos or videos that will never see the light of day, that are on the cutting room floor, that are really just too abstract, too weird, too surreal. Nobody would understand it. I don't know if even I understand it. That's where I want to get to, where I want to translate dreams to something tangible. And maybe at some point someone will make sense of them. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. So I keep shooting, and I keep trying, and I keep exploring, and I keep coming up with ideas. I keep fishing, and every once in a while I throw the line out there and I catch something, or I get a bite. And not every time can I reel it back in, but sometimes I do. And when I do, I make sure to treat it with the utmost care and pursue it and explore it and open it up, cut it up, fillet it, put it on the grill, and eat every little bite. Eyeballs, scales, the whole thing. I consume it all, hopefully, so I can regurgitate it to you. So that right now, or he right now, at this point in time, or maybe not him, but his essence, at least for now, it's not a doorknob. I've heard people say this in meetings before, like, oh yeah, you could just worship a doorknob. Well, how are you going to do that? How is a doorknob or a box of cereal or an inanimate object going to be your higher power? Because again, as I mentioned, something greater than yourself, Yeah, you got to believe in it because you are not the alpha and the omega. You are not the beginning and the end. You're not that important. I'm not that big of a deal. In the grand, Jesus Christ, in the grand scheme, whatever. That's not that big of a deal. There was a time where that would drive me absolutely berserk because I wanted it in a particular place, in a particular way, or whatever. But hey, the show must go on. Fuck it, right? So you got to get to that place. And I'm not always there. You know, I constantly have to recenter myself and go forward. And any little thing could knock me off track. I've gotten to the point, really, where drugs and alcohol, I wouldn't say they're not a consideration. I had a very, 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 very tough week last week. And I needed a little bit of emergency intervention. A 90-minute emergency session from my therapist because it all just became a little too overwhelming. Some of it's this, honestly. It's not, it's really more the technical stuff. And I think I mentioned this again before. I'm not going to keep saying, oh, I mentioned this before, I mentioned this before, I mentioned this before. I'm just going to stop doing that and just assume that you either know what I'm talking about or you don't. Getting bogged down in the perfectionism excuse me, and the technical details, it's a very nasty place to be in. Because anything you do in life that you care about, right? And you want to show to people, right? You want it to be just the way, just so. You know, if I bake a cake and it's for my kid or for my husband. Wait, hold on, I just said too much, my husband. My wife, my husband, my whatever. There are certain people and certain expressions that you just want to be just right. It's like if you ask your wife or your prospective wife or your husband, whatever. You find someone you want to marry, right? You don't just pull a ring out of a Cracker Jack box unless that's just the right thing. That's just the right deal to sort of break the ice and get that person to say yes. Maybe you know better than I do, this person, your potential betrothed, right? Well, each and everything that I do now, especially because it's just me and I'm just kind of here by myself, I don't have an audience. I don't have anybody to say, no, you're on the right track. Keep going that way. I kind of needed that, right? Or at least I think I do. Or I'm ready for that. Let's put it that way. And so David Lynch was the one who I felt like was really speaking to me in a way that was taking me to a place. I'm doing a really horrible job articulating this. I don't necessarily pray to this person at night, but sometimes I'll just say, David Lynch, give me the power, give me the strength to find the path to get through the rest of the night. Please give me an idea. What the hell is this? That is a funny... Somebody just sent me a message through Facebook Messenger, and wow, what a picture. You ought to start a YouTube channel. Great picture. And so that's what I'm wrestling with right now is, you know, how to get to that place. And so anyway, that's my description of this component of me staying sober for now. It works for me for now. Will David Lynch be my higher power forever? Unlikely. I expect to outlive him. I hope I do. Probably tomorrow I'll have a better idea if I will or I won't. We'll see. But, you know, when I graduate and I mature, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. Again, you know, this is the thing. I mean, once you get on that wave, it's just like surfing, man. When you start riding the wave, and you know it's just about right. It's just about right to make that dip. Get in that curl. Get in that barrel. You got to roll with it, man. So, anyway, I was nervous about this whole thing, going to Charlottesville, and I wanted to make sure that I was up. Because, look, if there's a banana peel for me to slip on, or a crack for me to trip on, or a rock that I can step on, there's one rock in, like, the salt flats. If there's one rock in 10 square miles, buddy, I feel like I'm going to hit that rock. I always do. It's like impending doom, a vulture just waiting around the corner to pick at my carcass. Why? I guess it's a matter of perspective. I'm trying to get out of that. And what's interesting about it is these live streams. What's really funny about the whole thing with the live streams, it's like, here I have these videos, that I've worked on. They're from the heart. They're honest stories. Not that many people are watching them, and that's okay because I made them, for the most part, the way I wanted to make them. The live streams, and part of the thing, and I'm going to get to it right now, I really want to interact with you guys, and I'm going to run down the list as long as I can. I'm going to have to, we can probably go, if you guys are interested, we could go till like 5:30. I need to leave maybe 6, or maybe we'll just cut it off in 20 minutes. It all depends. I'll start reading the comments, and I'll get a bead for the vibe, and then I'll find the wave, or I won't. Maybe I'll have to come back to shore. So we'll see. I'll just go ahead and start right now. But I got really nervous, and I just want to make sure that I don't fall asleep. So, what did you guys think about this song? See, this is another thing that I did. Now it's goofy, right? It doesn't even make sense. So me and a buddy got together, and rather than, shoot the video or do a live stream or whatever, he's been tested, COVID tested, all that stuff. He knows what I have and all this other stuff. And he was like, hey, you want to make a song? And yeah, sure, why not? I was like, what do you want to do? You want to make a musical? You want to do a music video? It's fun. I've always wanted to do a prison musical. Maybe not like a full-blown thing, but like a prison musical. Again, a vision. One of these days, if I ever have the resources, you'll be able to see it. I really am like dying to do that. So anyway, so he's like, okay, so let's make this little song. And I'm like, well, okay. And really, we just took some samples from the boot camp video that I did, and then he used a little bit, he put a little bit on it, I put a little bit on it, and whatever. I mean, that's just like the intro to the live stream. It's just goofy. Don't take it too seriously. But I thought it was funny. Anyway. Michelle says, you need to go to sleep. I've already explained why I can't go to sleep. You need to go to sleep. I believe in you, Yanni. Sleep, who needs it, says Alex O'Rourke. I agree, 110%. All right, greetings from L.A., Kelly Wilson. Boy, I'd love to be in L.A. right about now, I mean, the weather, it's like 75 to 80 degrees at all times. People are protesting every day. And you know what's funny about that? Speaking of protesting, I literally was on pretty close to my deathbed. And I have a very good buddy of mine who is actually and I don't get any crazy ideas, but he's been in Lincoln, Gods and Generals, lots of History Channel documentaries about the Civil War. He's a Civil War reenactor. And I think maybe I mentioned him at some point. He actually was an employee of the rehab that I went to. And that's how I met him. On the other hand, he's this hardcore, he's into hardcore music, punk rock, that whole scene. Super bad into meth. I mean, got down to like 115, 120 pounds. Looking like Christian Bale in The Machinist. Seriously, Google it, look him up. Like that. I'm talking about protruding organs. You could almost see the guy's liver make insulin. This is how thin he is. Like a skeleton. Anyway. What was I talking about? So I think the pneumonia's on my brain again. You guys got to bear with me. Until I'm 100% healthy, I will go off on these tangents. Kind of one of the reasons like I didn't really want to do the live stream so much. One is the technical stuff, but also, without a little bit of direction. Because I don't have a computer here. I do have one that runs the thing, and it's like 10 years old, but I mean, literally I have to look at the chat with my fucked up eyes. I don't see so well anymore. You get older, things start to fade and they start to go a little bit. So anyway, I was talking about the Civil War, and this is very interesting. Winchester, where I live, actually changed hands during the Civil War 18 times, if I'm not mistaken. Founded, established in 1752. It's a very old city. Northernmost tip, pretty much, of Virginia. We've got Maryland, 10, 15 miles away. You've got Pennsylvania, another 10, 15 miles away. You've got the West Virginia, Inwood, and Martinsburg. Was it Martinsburg? I don't know, one of those places. Meth and boot. Oh, boot. They got a drug out there called boot. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of boot. It's funny. I went to the rehab today. I have a friend of mine who was in there. I haven't seen him in many years, and I went to go talk to him about this thing that I have set up. I wanted to do it Saturday. We're doing it on Sunday. Whatever. Girlfriend's coming to see him. He actually is on furlough, and he has to go back to court in Chesapeake, Virginia, to get a bond. And then he'll presumably go to another outpatient program, and then if he completes that, they will release him, we hope. But you never know. You never know. The judge that said that's part of the plan, I'll go along with that. Who knows? You never know. That judge may wake up on the wrong side of the bed. That judge may get sick. And then the replacement judge comes in and looks at the paperwork and is like, this guy? 13 years in prison? Red Onion? Sussex 1? Wallens Ridge? This guy's fucked up everywhere he's been. Nighttime burglary? Or daytime? One of the two. I forget which. Nothing but trouble. Smuggling Suboxone in the prison? And you want me on his third violation? And he brought back a charge? To let him back out? Because he went to rehab? Oh, hell no. Wouldn't it be funny to see the judge say, oh, no, you got life fucked up. We ain't going for that. Ain't going for that. Sorry, Joe. And by the way, before you get any crazy ideas, his name is Joe E. Don't get crazy. But I'm going to do an interview with him. I thought it'd be really cool and different. It's one thing to catch somebody before they go to rehab, like intervention. It's another thing to hear the success story or whatever when they get out. But it's quite another thing to do it while they're in. Here you have all of this information and it's co-ed. And you know what that means. I don't need to say it. No, it's not true. He has a loving girlfriend, I believe he's engaged to, and so on and so forth. We'll talk about it. Now, this guy and I have done quite a bit of time together. And not only have I done time with him, I've bought drugs from him. I've bought needles from him. I've connected him to other sources. And so on and so forth. And I said, listen, man, there is not going to be. We're not blurring faces. I might use your prison name. Maybe not use your government. But your face, your eyeballs, all that is going to be on camera. And I'm not giving you a nickel to do it. Why? Because as soon as, first of all, I don't have any money, number one. Number two, if I were to give him money, then it changes everything. Here's the thing. In journalism, which is what I consider some of this to be, because I want it to be as objective as possible. We live in a world where you can't get objective information anywhere. Everyone has an agenda. For good or for ill, I want to deliver it in a way which is as unmolested, pardon the term, not perverted, again, pardon it again, and not editorialized to such a degree that it's directing you to feel or think a certain way about it. Now, that's almost impossible to do completely, but I want to get as close as I possibly can. So again, you can figure it out. Warts and all, the truth, raw and mostly uncut. Now, there are limitations to that, and I want to find a platform where that can happen. I'm considering Patreon, and then not having to rely on YouTube, Google, AdSense, and all that stuff. I really don't want to be a slave to Google's algorithm and their own editorializing of content. So anyway, I am going Sunday to interview him. We're going to go for a ride and a walk and everything else, and we're going to get into what's going on with him, reminisce about the past, talk about prison experiences. Like I said, I know him from the street, I know him from prison, and I'm trying to figure out, and I'm going to try and cue this up. There is another good friend of mine, haven't talked to him in a number of years. We had a 2-hour chat today. He's living in the States, but he did a number of years of Fed time as a drug mule. Now, the BBC did a documentary about drug mules, and he featured prominently. And this fuckboy BBC journalist, I think his name was Alex Jones or Alex Stewart or Alex Charles. You can look him up. He got floppy hair, was in a band, some kind of emo band or British alternative band. All of a sudden, he became some sort of journalist for the BBC. Now, usually the BBC is pretty objective stuff, right? I mean, especially if we're talking about American people or people overseas, people who aren't, it's not a political thing. If it's not a political thing, they're usually going to be pretty unobjective. They're going to be pretty objective. Anyway, I'm going to try and go ahead and show a clip of him. His name is Steve. Not really. He goes by Ace, not his government. And we'll get into his real name, where he's at, what he's doing now, and what happened after this documentary. So let me see if you can bear with me for just one moment. I'm going to try and cue it up, this little bit of footage from the BBC documentary that was shot about 10 years ago, where he is about as unrepentant a drug mule as you can possibly imagine. Now, he's been in Red Onion in Virginia. He's been in Sussex. He's been in Walls Ridge. He's been in all those tough places. Major flight risk. Caught with a plane at an airport, smuggling cocaine and heroin. So let me see if I can go ahead and cue it up. I think you guys are really going to get a kick out of this guy because as much as look, I'm going to put anybody on here that wants to talk. He's going to use his face. He's going to use his real name. And what's really interesting about this, cartel people are after this journalist. He's talked so much shit about certain cartel people and tried to do some investigative whatever. I don't know. He's going to fill me in on all the details. We talked about it, like I said, for a couple of hours today. Can we cue that up? Hey, Virgin. Unmute me. Okay, so look, I am having problems getting the audio feed of this. So this is him, the guy with the floppy hair, the dude that looks like, I don't know, Jared Leto 20 years ago in like My So-Called Life or whatever. That's not him. The guy I'm talking about, you see the guy with the teardrops and the scar on his face? That's Steve, the drug mule. Now, you can probably Google, I believe it's drug mule, and then whatever this interviewer's name is, I think his name is Alex Charles. You can Google drug mule Alex Charles and you can pull this up. But basically what he's saying is, look, the money is so good. The time is pretty sweet because Colombian prisons are very different than they are here. He had enough money. He wanted a Christmas tree for Christmas. All it takes is money. Now he's got a Christmas tree in his cell. You want an unending supply of cocaine? No problem. This is Colombia. We can do that. Very different place. Now, you have a lot of convicts over there, inmates, whatever you want to call them, that are shitting in a bucket and eating slop that rats wouldn't even think twice about eating. But if you got the bucks, you can live, for all intents and purposes, like a prince. You're just behind bars. So in it, he mentions he got paid $12,000 a run, cash. Now, the sentence that he got, I believe it was a little less than 2 years. Now, each run, he got 12 grand plus an unending supply, really, of blow and dope. And, of course, he's doing these mule runs, right, so he can build up his own personal drug empire. Now, this cocksucker at the end of this thing says, well, hey, you can tell he's not serious about going straight and flying right and all this stuff. But he makes it very clear in the interview. How could you? It's just too sweet. And at that point, hey, he's done 18 months. He's made next to six figures, maybe more. I don't know exactly. We'll find out. But I'm trying to do an interview with him sorry about that. I'm trying to do an interview with him where we can both talk and do a live Q&A. Now, I know there are other places that do the Zoom interviews, which I cannot stand because I just feel like they're impersonal. You know, the video is choppy. They get to control the narrative. But I want to make it a little more interactive. Now, I don't know if I have the technology to pull that off. I'm going to try and do it. The goal in a perfect world would be Saturday. But if not, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime in the next week, even if I can't make it interactive and do the Q&A, I'm definitely going to do the interview with him. But I'm going to die trying to get it to where you guys can personally, and gals, can personally ask him questions about the 13, 14, 15 years that he's done in Fed, Virginia, Florida. In fact, he still has a warrant. In one state, they're not even going to go get him. He has no qualms about talking about that. So before somebody says I'm a snitch, we'll talk about it on camera. And you can Google and look it up. His warrant still has an alias attached to it, not his real name, which is crazy. And they finally said, you know, fuck it. You got it. Stay where you're at. We don't want you here. Otherwise, I'd get his ass here and we'd do it. So that's something I got cooking. I got the guy in rehab. I think that's going to be awesome. I have my next story, prison story. My next stop on the tour is called Prison Pedophilia Ring. And you may be asking yourself, what the hell? How the hell was there a prison pedophilia ring? I mean, they have kids in prison. Well, you'll just have to use your imagination. Or please don't use your imagination, just wait. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to out some people who are now out on the street who are sex offenders. I'm going to tell you where they are, and I'm going to tell you what they did. These are people that should not be out, but these are people that I've been locked up with, and I'm going to tell you in what capacity they did what they did and how far certain agencies have gone to cover it up. And this is not something I'm making up. The information is out there. I'm going to point you in the right direction, but we're going to talk about it first, but not in a live stream format. I'm going to actually make a real video about it because it is fucking chilling. It is absolutely fucking chilling. One gentleman in particular was a DARE officer, dare to keep kids off drugs, will go into broken homes where the parents are getting high, right? And so it's his responsibility to go into this home and counsel the kid and make sure he's not so fucked up, you know, with the PTSD from his dad smoking crack and his mom shooting dope or blowing everybody in town or going to a trailer park and letting everybody run a train on him. No, not that. That's tough. That's tough stuff for a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kid. Well, this guy would come in like Prince Valiant and sometimes take him out and was part of this enormously weird cover-up that happened in the state of Georgia. And interestingly enough, there was a man who I think was a serial killer, 15, 16, 17 bodies. I got to do a little more research on this particular individual. I'm not going to tell you his name because it would ruin the surprise. Well, when this guy got locked up, some killing still occurred. And then when this other guy got locked up, everything stopped. There were videos. There were pictures. Sometimes you have no idea who you're locked up with. This guy got 20 years in prison. We're talking, I don't know. It's unbelievable. Bestiality. Satanic rituals. I don't have any video of that. I would never do that anyway. But I'm telling you, this story, I have this friend of mine. He keeps going on about Pizzagate. And I'm like, give me a fucking break with Pizzagate, okay? Would you just please shut up about it? I get it. You know, Epstein is he's a fucked up guy who, maybe there's some elite weirdos out there who are billionaires or multimillionaires who are trying to tap into. They're eccentric as fuck and they've done everything else, so now they want to diddle kids. I mean, I really don't want to do a deep dive on that. It's fucking disgusting, right? Then I started thinking about it, and I started doing some research on a couple of people that I met in prison, and I didn't really know what they were until later. And what was astonishing about it is in the state of Georgia, for instance, because that's where I'm at in the leg of my prison experience, what's astonishing about this is that You could cap out, as long as you didn't kill anybody, 20 years was the most you could get for anything, as long as you didn't kill them. 20 years. And the things, the depraved nature of some of this stuff is far beyond. Killing these kids would have done them a favor. So this guy lived in a county. I'm not going to mention the county, but I will. They had to pay off families of these victims more money than their entire budget for 2 years for the whole city. That's how much they had to pay out almost 30 years ago. And this guy is walking the street like a regular dude. And he's done so much to cover up his tracks about who he is and what he's done that you have to really be like an internet archaeologist to find little nuggets of information here and there. But I was locked up with this guy. I know what he looks like. This motherfucker was teaching reentry skills at Long State Prison in Ludowici, Georgia, Long County. Little town, population of about 2,000. Teaching reentry skills. 17, 18 years at this point, he'd been locked up. He's teaching reentry skills in this weird-ass prison, and I'm going to explain it to you. They had collapsed the protective custody prison, and they would take guys with 2 years or less, and they would do the outside detail work, and then they collapsed this Wayne State prison, which is all PC, law enforcement officers, pedophiles. I mean, the worst of the worst. And some of these stories are absolutely outrageous. And the warden would come in, who was her own particular brand of weird. And part of orientation was, you touch a single hair on any of these people's heads, you don't judge them, you don't look at them, you're going to get 2 years minimum if you even breathe on these fuckers. They protected these people like you wouldn't believe. It's just unbelievable the lengths that they went to make sure these guys were okay. Now, look, I got 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. This guy's got a year and a half, 12 months, 14 months going outside, bush axing, weed eating, blowing. Not, don't get the wrong idea. Stuff, whatever, leaves, grass clippings, whatever. My detail happened to be a cemetery. And the cemetery is so big that you'd start on Monday with a 6-man crew, and by next Monday, you'd have to start all over again. It literally was a 5-day job. And so at this prison, I'll get into it, this is where I really became a veteran at smuggling drugs. I really worked it out, and ultimately it led me to a really nasty place. So, in any case, those are all videos that I have upcoming. So I don't know if anyone is interested in that. I'm going to go down to the end and see if that is something that... The only guy I know that will investigate a prison ramen gate but not believe Pizzagate. That's funny. That's funny. I mean, I don't know. I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. I was making fun of like flat earthers and stuff like that. It just seems ridiculous to me. Not just the flat earth thing. Obviously, that's absurd. But, in prison and in life, thousands and thousands and thousands of people keeping a secret, it's impossible. You can't do it. What are you going to do? Kill them all? Come on. But maybe I'm just naive to the whole thing. It just seems ridiculous to me. So, what do you think? Is that too much? Is that too intense? There's no sound again? There's no sound again? Is there sound or not? Please, somebody be honest with me and let me know. Don't troll me on this, please. Okay. And that's it. And that's in addition to all of the addiction and recovery stuff that I'm not going to mention now because apparently, I'm not even going to get into this, but apparently somebody wants to be me for some reason. I don't know why you would want to be little old me. living in a basement, building a prison cell for yourself, having a life-threatening disease. Why would you want to be this guy? You've got to be crazy. I guess it takes one to know one. Somebody wants to... Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes money and fame, it's not enough. Sometimes that thing that you've been chasing your entire life isn't either one of those things. It's humanity, a personality. I don't know. Whatever. Good luck, buddy. All right, so I'm going to start from the top. Undercover gay sex, LOL. Like, what are you talking about? Thank you for subscribing, Scott Haley. Yeah, Scott Haley, man. I do appreciate any subscribers I can get because I got to be honest with you, I've gotten very few. I already had like 2,200 prescribers. That's what I need. I need a bunch of prescribers. You guys have any idea how much medication I need just to get out of bed and get in front of this 10-year-old webcam? I need prescribers. I don't need subscribers. I need prescribers. Anyway, it's been very few. And again, like I said, it's so weird to me. So strange. I do these mammoth live streams. This is my third one. First two are like 3.5 hours long. I've literally broken every rule in the YouTube book. Make your videos 10 to 15 minutes. Nope. Well, if you're going to live stream, don't ever go over an hour. Nope. Well, don't change tones in the middle of the video, right? If it's bouncy, keep it bouncy. If it's funny, keep it funny. If it's intense, keep it that way. But don't be intense, and then funny, and then lighthearted, and then serious. But guess what? To me, that is life, right? Life isn't always funny. It isn't always intense. Sometimes it is a little light. Sometimes it's educational. We run the gamut as individuals. And let's be real. I mean, the best media, the best books, the best movies, the best shows. You know, think about Breaking Bad. Is Breaking Bad never funny? No, it's frequently funny. One of the greatest shows ever made, right? I don't know. I've honestly never seen the whole show. I've seen like the first season and a half, and I've seen like the last couple of episodes. But what I saw was really good. I'm not much of a TV watcher or streamer or whatever. But what I saw was really good, really well done. The acting's great. The whole premise is incredible. I mean, the growth of this character from this, chemist to life-threatening illness to giant meth mogul to killer and so on. I get it. But that's life, right? I mean, not becoming a meth mogul and a killer, not becoming a cartel leader and entrepreneur. But it's all of those things. You can be all of those things. That's my goal, to be everything and nothing. Figure it out. All right, so we did have the audio problems in the beginning. I apologize. And again, that's why I do it so late at night. Number one, upstairs. It makes it very hard for me to record and make videos because I don't want you to hear people pounding around. I mean, you've heard of paper-thin walls, right? These are paper-thin ceilings. It's unbelievable. But I got to work around it. It's all I have to work with. I got to make do. So I'll tell you what, in future videos, if you do hear what sounds like gunshots upstairs, really, it's just a 2-year-old falling flat on his face. Or maybe my my drunk landlord. Who knows? All right. Crazy MOF killer. I'm just stuck up late working. Something to listen to. Something to listen to. That's okay. This isn't necessarily earth-shattering or groundbreaking. Like I said, I'm really using you to keep me up. So if you get anything out of this, great. But in reality, this is all about me. This is about my recovery, me getting to Charlottesville on time, and not slipping on that banana peel and falling in that ditch. Which I literally did 5 months ago when I got rhabdomyolysis. Look that up. That's rare too. 20,000 cases a year, I got that. Then A month and a half later, something else. 3,000 cases a year in the United States, not here, not this county, not this city, not this state, not this region, not this coast, the entire country. Lucky guy. Silver linings. So somebody asked me about Superchat. Now, I'm not monetized. My channel is not monetized. And I want to make this very clear. I'm trying to get to the point where I can sort of embrace, I don't like the donations. Let's call them investments. Now, the last chat that I did, I netted something like $54 after PayPal transfer, whatever it was, 54 bucks. I spent it on and I'll put those posts in the community. Okay, the community posts. And I plan on utilizing that function a lot more. But I will show you exactly what I buy. That way you can see where the money is going. It isn't for booze. It's not for drugs. It's not for... what it is to fulfill my vision. The more... I have to tell you, in a lot of ways, I know exactly what I'm doing. But there are so many technical hurdles to translate it properly. I know exactly what I need and how to do it and how to get there. I know exactly how to shoot it. I know exactly how to cut it. You got to understand, when I cut a video, this is the nice thing about the live streams, right? It tortures me for it to be the quality that it is. It tortures me. I know it's choppy. I know the exposure is blown out. I got a light over here that keeps falling down. I mean, I'm about to go get a damn hurricane, which you use to keep kind of rafters up, or you build a deck, you want to keep. I'm about to do that and then keep it there. You know what this is? This is a lamp that I busted in a million pieces so I could get a straight rod. I went to an Ollie's bargain outlet. I got it for $6. Now they had lamps that were in one piece, and I said, no, I want the one that's 50% off that's got the cracked piece out of it. And I went out in the back and I smashed it into a million pieces without, of course, keeping the cord intact and the socket. And then plugged it in and hung it over a plyboard and did a little other stuff to it, and bada boom, bada bing, there you go. Bubble gum and duct tape, man. That's it. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got shit. I got a little food, a little ingenuity, and big time motivation. I'll make it work. So anyway, I want to show you the receipts for anything that I get or buy to make this, because I don't care how I live. I mean, I care about staying clean, and I care about having peace of mind. But I feel like I need this and I need you. I really do. I feel like I'm making, if I could just make one little bit of difference, if I could just translate one vision, one dream, one story that needs to be told. There are so many stories out there that need to be told. There are probably people in here, I know there are, stories that you want to tell, and you don't know how to do it. You can't articulate it. You can't put it on paper. Maybe you could tell somebody. You could tell somebody like me, and maybe I could bring it to life, bring it to reality. And if it's worth telling, and it's compelling, and it's interesting, and it's all these things, I mean, who knows? One of you people in this chat right now might be the next big thing. You might be the next great director, the next great artist, the next, who knows? Martin 182 says, energy drinks are hell on your liver. I had to get my gallbladder, spelled G-A-U-L, like Saul. Better call gall bladder. Better call Saul bladder. G-A-U-L bladder, because of drinking energy drinks all the time. Don't get me wrong. I still do it. Well, that's insane. Hold on. Let me get this straight, Mark. Energy drinks are hell on your liver, you say. I had to get my gallbladder because you had to get my gallbladder. You had, well, hold on, I misread that. You had to get it and do what with it? You had to get your gallbladder, like you had to get it, like you loaned it to somebody. You had to get it from the pawn shop. Like, hey, excuse me, hey, hey, Jeff, hey, listen, yeah, the gallbladder over there, yeah, I got the ticket right here. Yeah, let me get that gallbladder. Come on, yeah. 20% on top of the already, you already charged me $20 on top of it all, 20% to get my gallbladder back. All right, you got me. You got my hands tied. You got my hands tied behind my back. Here's the money. I got my gallbladder back. So you had to get your gallbladder because of drinking energy drinks all the time. Don't get me wrong, I still do it. Well, listen, dude, I don't know where you got your gallbladder. If you got it at Walmart, Big Lots, wherever you got it. I think that you probably mean that your gallbladder is kind of messed up from energy drinks. How did you isolate that? How did you get it down? How did the doctor whittle this down? No, it's not the quarter pounders. It's not the drugs. It's not the pills. It's not the honey buns. It's not the ice cream. It's not anything else. It's energy drinks. That's amazing to me that the medical science has gotten so specific that they know, Matt M182, that it was energy drinks. I'm not saying they're, listen, for the longest time, I didn't drink them. It's one of those things about being in rehab or going to jail. You know, they're not things that that you can have in jail or prison. And so, you get out, and I haven't been out long. You want to indulge yourself. I'm a big ice cream fan, so I eat, a lot of ice cream. I usually do it to reward myself, whatever. But anyway, about a month ago or 3 weeks ago, my levels had returned to pretty much close to normal. So it's natural for me. You want to push it a little bit. I've never been, I'm better safe than sorry. I've never been that guy. I'd rather be sorry than safe. It's a reason I've done almost 8 years in prison. I'm trying to change that. But anyway, so what's interesting about the liver, it turns out that if you have liver disease, that drinking coffee is actually good for your liver. It's good for your ALT and AST levels. There are a number of studies out here that'll corroborate that. I had an issue with my coffee maker, so I don't drink sugar. Maybe it's the sugar that's the problem. I think the caffeine in and of itself, there may be something else in there. I don't know the caffeine in and of itself. If your blood pressure is good, you don't have diabetes, all your vitals are pretty stable. I don't know if energy drinks are really that bad for you, but I did stop them for a long time. A couple weeks ago, I wanted to manufacture some juice because I need it. I'm trying to get back to normal, and I'm probably pushing the envelope a little bit, right? I'm probably pushing the envelope a little bit because I want to be a part of my old self, and my old self is go, 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 go. On the other hand, maybe all that go, 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 go is what got me in lots of trouble. I don't know. Anyway, last couple of weeks I've taken. Anyway, fill me in on the gallbladder at the bottom. We're going to run through this a little bit here. Mixed Martial Arts Nightmare says, AC not working. I can install a new HVAC system for you for $800. Let me know. I don't have $800. I don't know if that's referencing, I don't know what that means. You accept Cash App. Well, that's terrific. I'll tell you this. Before I paid $800 to get the AC fixed, just like I fixed the AC in my car the other day, I watched a video. I got the materials I needed. Not a big deal. Yeah, I burnt my hand. A little bit. That wasn't from knocking anybody out or anything, but I got it done. The AC blows nice and cold, and I saved myself. The import shop for my Volvo, they wanted $250. Cost me about 40. And that's buying a tool. Because all my tools are not here. They're down in Chesapeake. Keegan Hamlin says, give a dude a shout out. It would mean a lot. Keegan Hamlin here in South Dakota. And yeah, there's nothing. Kelly Wilson, who I don't believe is a woman. You're going to have to prove it, Kelly. Because I'm having my doubts. She says, my sweat smells like ammonia sometimes. That's not sweat, Kelly. That's, you've either passed out in your cat's litter box Or you've just urinated all over yourself and forgot to take a shower. That's typically what that ammonia smell is. I don't think it's sweat. Or maybe you pee out of your pores. I don't know. You might be you might be like that character, Metal Gear. I played video games a little bit. I haven't played much lately, but the Metal Gear Solid was a series that's near and dear to my heart. And Metal Gear Solid 5, or V, however you want to call it, had this character in it that could breathe. It was so ridiculous. She had these giant boobs, and she was really hot looking and all this other stuff. And yet everybody else is wearing like camo fatigues, and they're in this desert. They're in Afghanistan or whatever. And she's, she looks like she just got done working a shift at JB's Gallery of Girls. Didn't make a lot of sense. So the explanation behind it is she had some weird photosynthesis disorder when she got like hit by some kind of like nuclear fallout or something. I forget what the story, but she breathed through her pores. Maybe, Kelly Wilson, that character was based on you. In which case, you got major problems. You got major problems. 33 degrees, LOL, dopamine rush. I don't even know what that means. What's your body fat percentage right now? I have no idea. First of all, any body fat percentage calibration tool is inherently not right, right? So whether you step on it, it's got the little sensitometer or whatever the hell it is. It'll give you a reading. You have calipers, they'll give you a reading, but guess what? You take those calipers, you put them, everybody builds fat or stores fat. Women store it in places that men don't. And men, whether you're ecto, endomorph, or whatever, they store it in different places. Me, I put it all on my ass. So if you were to take these calipers and put them on one of my ass cheeks, it'd probably be like 30%. But I don't know. What is my body fat percentage? I'd probably put it at maybe 10, maybe, roughly. I don't know. What do you think? Yikes, the cycle of addiction comes in all forms. I don't know what the 33 degree thing means. Alex O'Rourke, you still have things to do. My grandpa had something, says this snake thing. I think it's 33 degrees. My grandpa had something like that. His insides were coming out of his belly button. He had a legit Santa belly. It was like 2 feet out. Yeah, I mean, that's probably organ dissension. That's not, you don't want that. That's bad. Really bad. Really bad. You know, I can tell you something really personal about me. I have actually, speaking of belly buttons, I had a hernia when I was a little kid. Now, you really want to get dazzled by something disgusting? I'm not telling you that. It's true, though. I did have a hernia when I was a kid. I had to have surgery. Let's put it this way. They had to open up. This is probably... See, I don't want to say this and then somehow it's like some kind of issue. It gets taken down by YouTube. But let's say this, okay? So one of my marbles... You know, every man has like a bag of marbles. They usually only keep a couple in there, okay? They string it up, it's tied up, and they're always there. They never really come out. They're always right there when you need them. Now, one of my marbles got away, got out of the bag, and it went somewhere else on my person. It got into another compartment. The suitcase, not the suitcase, actually, it didn't go in the suitcase, it went somewhere else. And so they had to take the marble and put it back in the bag. All right. How can anybody define a higher power in human terms? Here's the thing. To me, this is not a human being. I mean, he is, obviously, but I don't know him. We're not personal friends. We don't have a personal relationship. So what do I do in the morning? I watch a little bit of inspiration from this person, David Lynch, and it just gets me in that right place. I meditate. I do my countdown from 9 to 10, and then I turn everything off. Now, I've gotten to the point, I started at a minute, then to 2, then to 3, and I'm beyond that. I go as long as I can go. And you know you're in the right place when you can feel, not just your heartbeat, but you can hear it. If you can hear it, now you know you're in the right place. And so, I get to that point, till other things distract me. I watch a little bit of this with David Lynch, and then I'll do a little reading in a particular book. And then I'm ready to go. I get centered, no matter how cranky I am when I wake up, and I don't always wake up in the greatest of moods. I don't always wake up with my back not in pain. I don't always wake up with my shoulder in my socket. I have a torn labrum, torn rotator cuff. Sometimes I sleep on it funny, and I've got to reset my shoulder back into place when I wake up in the morning. Believe me, it's no picnic. Very painful. And I don't take any sort of pain medication. So sometimes I have to get centered, and that's how I get there. That's working for me now. A month from now, maybe something different. Tomorrow, could be something else. I'm at a point where I do believe, there's no question in my mind that there is a power greater than me or you. It is not a human being. But anyway, we'll get into that more. I'm trying to figure it out. Sometimes they say drinking and smoking every day inoculates a person like George Burns. Well, I mean, that's an interesting concept, right? So I had my great-grandmother. She's one of the USC, the University of Southern California, did a study on, they believe it was people, supercentenarians or centenarians, I forget exactly how to pronounce it, but people that were well over 100 years old. So she died at 108. And she was born in 1896, died in 2004. Themis Demosthenes. Now, she smoked till she was 97. With some people, depending on their genetics, and I'm very lucky in that, probably these sorts of old school or old village Greek genetics from Mytilene have allowed me to survive as long as I have. But anyway, she smoked till she was 97, died at 108. Really, the only reason she stopped smoking is she forgot she was a smoker. Now her mind went. she didn't know what the hell a cigarette was. But, you know, if you wanted to hear a story about the village in Mytilene and Lesbos, Greece, from when she was 15 years old, I mean, the recall, unbelievably vivid, photographic, eidetic, unbelievable. I mean, really unbelievable. Like nobody I've ever met. Memory's a funny thing. Memory is a funny thing. He liked to beat women anyway. You know what I don't abide by? Somebody who beats women. Look, if you've put your hands on a woman, I don't think even one time, I can't fuck with you, period. It's just, I just can't do it. I can't do it. Kids, women, there's never a reason. I don't give a fuck. Somebody said this to me the other day. They said, well, what if she punches you like a man? Well, then you got to take it and get the fuck out of there. Somehow, some way, you get yourself out of that situation. And honestly, if a girl is hitting you so hard that you just can't take it anymore, then you need to go toughen yourself up. Rub some dirt on it, get back in the game, eat some sand, and get over it. Women are crazy, no doubt about it. But I mean, if you're in a violent situation like that, there's never any reason to strike back. That doesn't give a woman carte blanche to do whatever she wants to do. Now, I'm not the person to step in the middle of that, unless it's a man. Now, I have done some things to men who have, I don't know, it would get me, I don't go for it. Let's just put it like that. Period. You're my friend or my enemy. Even if you're a girl, I hate your guts, you tell me that this guy put his hands on you and you're not bullshitting, it's for real. I've done some nasty things, and I'm not proud of them. It's fucked up, but it's just the way I used to be. I don't hang out. I try not to associate with anybody who would be, suspect to do something like that. Christopher Palmer, when's your next video? So tomorrow I have 3 videos in various states and this is really a bad idea. I think if you're going to do YouTube, you do one video, you finish it, and then you move on to the next thing. My thing is I'll look at these videos, one thing I don't like is that the last couple of videos that I've done that aren't live streams are, in studio, right? I mean, there's just only so much you can do, and I'm so limited with the equipment that I have, the focal length and so on and so forth. Some of you guys would understand, but there's a reason why they're shot in a particular way, with a particular lighting scheme and everything else, and I just don't have the flexibility to shoot it any other way until I can go outside and I'm cleared to be outside amongst people. But in reality, I'm not saying I can't have fun doing the studio work. This is not a studio. This is a basement, okay? Number one. Number two, like I said, I'm just limited with the gear that I have. But any of you who've known me from before this would know that my favorite element, the one where I feel the most natural and most comfortable, is amongst people. Because at the end of the day, no matter how paranoid I am or how much anxiety I've experienced, no matter how much post-traumatic stress disorder is left over from my incarceration, and there is, believe me, there's plenty. But still, my natural state of being, the place where I'm most comfortable, is definitely out in the street. And so there are some videos where I feel like I need a little bit of that in order for them to be okay and acceptable for me to, and I'm trying to get over it. It's very tough for me to release something or upload something that I think it could be better. It's just not acceptable to me. And I'm trying to get like stuff like that happening right there. Like I said, a couple of years ago, or maybe even a couple of months ago, I probably would have shut this thing down. I would have shut this off. I would have turned that microphone off. I might have thrown something against the wall and broke it so I could never break it so I could never do it again. I just couldn't deal with it. I couldn't cope. I'm trying to get better. I really am trying to get better. It's the people, like I said, the people who know me, they know. I mean, I'm a lunatic. There's no question about it. People wear Nike even though it's made by children's hands. I don't own anything by Nike. I don't know. People use Apple products and they're built by, Chinese people or Taiwanese or Koreans or whatever that are, probably, eating maggots for lunch. I don't know for sure about that, but one can assume that most of the things that we use and that we enjoy and that allow us to live a particular lifestyle, because let's be real. One thing I've realized, man, especially in comparison to my life in prison, is that it doesn't take a lot to have a lot. Money is just not that big of a deal. To me, it's just a tool for expression. I have my rent here, and I pay $600 a month for this place. I don't have a dishwasher. I got a refrigerator the size of a shoebox, a microwave. You have to double the times on everything I put in the microwave, whatever it says on the back of the box, double or triple it. And it still might be cold. That's how weak it is, but it's what I have. Coffee maker, like I said, it broke. I was able to scrape up enough loot to get a new one, but it's the cheapest piece of crap you could ever imagine. But it makes coffee. I just happen to not have any now, hence the energy drink. Stanley Kubrick was the best. There's an argument to be made that that's true. The guy never made a bad movie. A lot of directors never made a bad movie, but Stanley Kubrick, I mean, wow, what an eye. He really did touch a lot of different genres. I mean, I could talk about Stanley Kubrick. You want to talk about a perfectionist? In an era where the internet and computers didn't exist, this guy had a file system this size of this house, which isn't a house, it's a townhouse, whatever. Literally, with index cards on everything. Because in a way, the guy was so intelligent. He's an amazing chess player, amazing thinker, supposedly had an eidetic memory. Obviously, he didn't, because he had this crazy Rolodex and file system that he built over years and years and years and years and years. And what happens is people look at this stuff, they say, wow, what a visual genius. What an amazingly talented guy. But if you've read any books about the guy, the amount of work and detail which went into every single decision that he ever made, every take, every camera angle, every story beat. And he would spend years sometimes editing his material. Shaping, reshaping, taking projects, throwing them in the garbage. Napoleon, he worked on for years. He wanted to make a movie about Napoleon. 10 years he worked on it, never made it. AI, directed by Steven Spielberg. That was a movie that was greenlit for Stanley Kubrick to shoot. He never did do it. Spielberg ultimately made it. But he was a guy not going to release anything, nothing, not a single frame until it's ready. And it went through everything, every single promotional material, the trailers, the posters, everything had to have his fingerprints on it. He had to touch it, or it just wasn't, it wouldn't, he felt responsible for everything. Very much a perfectionist to a pathological degree. Now, if you want to talk about directors, the only person that I could probably compare to him would probably be David Fincher. He has a lot of Stanley Kubrick in him. I don't think his movies are as varied. But if there is one technician in the world of cinema that is beyond reproach, everything is absolutely, almost so perfect that it's too cold. It doesn't have heart. It's so sterile. You could make that argument. But just, everything is perfect. You can't deny the skills. Hey, Virgin, I was impressed because 99% of people don't know how to use the word who versus whom. I'm not impressed. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Fuck the Virgin. Just kidding. Oh, man. Who's doing the weather? I already mentioned that before. I'm kind of race through this stuff. It's 5:10 right now. Oh, and also I'm going to do a vlog. I'm going to try a vlog. I haven't really vlogged anything. I don't really like vlogs that much. Because usually they're like a cheap, sloppy way to make something. Or hype something for something else. The most annoying thing in the world. Now in the live stream, I do that a little bit. But I mean, I feel like I've given you enough details to understand what I'm trying to do. Because in reality, I don't know exactly how it's going to come out. This is my idea. This is what I want to make. Put it in the oven. We'll see how long it takes. Put the right ingredients in there. Maybe it'll end up tasting like shit. Maybe you'll gag on it. I don't know. But I am going to vlog, or try and vlog, if I can keep my eyes open. I'm going to try and vlog the trip to Charlottesville. And see if they'll let me bring the camera into the Digestive Health Center and just kind of capture how I feel about it. I mean, I feel pretty confident. I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good. I'm just ready to take the next step. Because some people are saying, well, how with your body fat and how ripped you are and everything else, I haven't worked out in a year. Roughly 8 months, 9 months. And back then it was in jail. I haven't lifted a single weight since I've been out of jail. I know a lot of ways to make homemade weights and homemade work, or prison weights and prison workout devices. And, if that's a video that people want to see, I mean, I'm very, I've had a lot of practice. I do have a prison workout plan, a prison diet. That if these are all the materials you have, just what you have access to in prison, that you can get good results. I remember the first time, says Adam Tarver. Why does that name sound so familiar? I remember the first time I did a cheesecake. Oh man, good times. There's nothing like creating a hole in a nice, soft, fluffy piece of cheesecake with a medium hard boner. There's just nothing like it. I don't know about you, Adam. I'm thinking that's what you're driving at. Maybe I shouldn't have gone there. I did. It's too late. Kelly Wilson, oh hell, let's drop a Jackson. Now, dropping a Jackson, what does that mean? Is that like the Browns at the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? I can't get out of the gutter right now. That's just where my mind went. Do I have a Cash App? I do have a Cash App. I have a PayPal. I have a bank account. I don't know. I think there's a link up there. Why would that not work? Some of this stuff creeps me out because I think that, number one, I want to be accountable for it. I want there to be an actual accounting. I don't even know if anybody is invested. I'm not going to say donations. Invested in the health of the channel. Because as I mentioned before, I'm not monetized. And I hate asking for anything. And I'm not asking. If you would like to do that and you'd like to, there goes the water. And you want to see some actual results, some tangible, something you can touch and feel, or at least, no, you can't touch and feel, but something that you'll actually be able to see, oh, wow, I helped build that. It's kind of like building a building, right? And you go by and your dad or your uncle or whatever, and he's like, hey, that building over there, I laid the brick on that thing. I helped build the foundation. We poured the foundation for that thing. I remember that. I remember it was that hot, sunny day. It was 99 degrees. Humidity made it feel like 120. There's no shade. We're out on that pad. And I busted my ass. I gave everything I had to build the foundation for that building. And son, I want you to take a look at that. These hands right here. They built that. But guess what? He didn't pour the whole slab. And he didn't lay every brick. He had to have help. And so in that way, I need a little bit of help. Adam Tarver, holy haha, I just clicked David Lynch. I told you. The guy is, I'm not kidding. Mark S. Couldn't sleep. Now I'm excited. I caught this. Mark, I'm excited that you did, and I'm excited that you're excited. I mean, nothing could be more exciting than pure excitement. I can't contain myself right now. And thank God neither can you. I love it. Enthusiasm is great. Kelly Wilson says, I don't have the patience. I don't know what you're talking about. Kelly, you talk a lot. Jody A. My ex-husband was in prison and Selly's work Jeffrey Skilling, dude from Enron. I guess it says Enron. Kelly Wilson again, Cash App. I do have it. I don't know if that's okay to do here. That I'm a little paranoid about that stuff. I feel like somebody's going to hack my account, clear out whatever I have, or take over my computer, which is already on its last leg. You have to understand, when I edit these videos, I think I was mentioning this earlier, I was trying to get to this point. I don't even know the right edit point because it's so fucking choppy. It really is. It's so choppy. The audio will cut in and out, and a lot of it's just guesswork. So if some of the edits are I really hardly don't even know until it's fully rendered and put together. And then it goes through this whole other compression deal with YouTube. So you'll have what amounts to like 130, 140 gigabyte file when you're all done with everything, or at least the ones that I've done. They're pretty big. And then by the time YouTube's done with it, it's 8-9 gigs. But before it becomes the rendered product, it's like 300 gigs. Now I have a hard drive with 1 terabyte. I have an external hard drive that's not an SSD that's slow. My computer is almost 10 years old. And I just refuse to upload anything unless it's a live stream. I refuse to do it in anything less than 4K, which drives people crazy because, of course, all these times, they double and they triple and they quadruple because everything's so old. I was at the point where if I had anything audio, it had to be a WAV file, which are, you look it up, they're huge. You put all this stuff together, you start adding layers and things are like, it's like a robot in a stop motion animation production, and you just have to guess. You got to take a leap of faith, but that's what we're doing here, right? That's what I'm doing every day. This is Kelly. I thought you were a girl. He's not a girl. He actually looks like a guy I know named Mike Jones. Okay, yeah, and I'm a dude. No shit. I mean, I'm looking at your picture. No shit, you're a dude. If you're a girl, you're the ugliest goddamn woman I've ever seen. Jesus Christ. Like, you must be How did everything disconnect? Did you just nuke my thing? What the fuck? It just said Wi-Fi disconnected. Wow. Huh. All right, so let's... This is bullshit now. Just give me 1 second, please. Give me one second, okay? Hey, somebody at the bottom, please tell me if I'm live and you can hear me. Because something just completely died on me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay, so everything is okay? Everything is fine now? You can hear me. You can hear me? Please tell me you can hear me or not. Come on. There's 59 of you in here. Somebody help me out. Ah, okay. So now it's all catching up. Wow. Dude, this is, I mean, seriously, man, this is like Tony Stark in the cave. Somebody asked me if I was going to do skits. That reminds me. Every time I need a laugh, I watch the Jeff Bridges, you know, the guy from Big Lebowski. He's like bald in Iron Man, right? And he's talking to a scientist and he's trying to build the Iron Man suit or the heart thing or whatever. I'm not a big comic book movie guy, but whatever. I mean, it's fucking Robert Downey Jr. and Jeff Bridges. These guys are amazing. Some of the best that have ever done it, right? He says, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. And just the way his tie, just he flips it and he just keeps going. It's just hilarious. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So look, right here. I talk about symptoms right here. This is no bullshit. So my hand, I guess I just got too excited, is locked in this place. And it's one of the symptoms that I get from, what can I do but just look at it and laugh? This is literally, I guess I made this thing. It did something here. Is it arthritic? Is it carpal tunnel? They say it's arthritis. It'll go away, maybe. Sometimes it'll stay. It sucks, but what can you do but laugh about it? I remind you of Popeye with that shirt and the hat. I am, what is, you know, hey, you want to talk about an amazing movie? Okay, one of the most amazingly talented people that have ever been alive, Robin Williams. He made a lot of shitty movies near the end of his career. RV, Wild Hogs. I mean, just absolute garbage. But in his prime, at his apex, completely let loose and unchained, nobody, not only can he do every voice in the world, not only does his mind work at such a speed, at such a rapid pace, that nobody can keep up with it. But number three, I mean, the guy was an amazing dramatic actor. I mean, you watch Good Will Hunting or Dead Poets Society or The World According to Garp or fucking Popeye, which gets us all the way to Popeye. This is the way my mind works. She's mentioned Popeye, I'm talking about. It's a musical directed by Robert Altman with all this makeup and prosthetics and shit. And he's totally committed to being Popeye, like a method actor Popeye. It's a fucking horrible movie in a lot of ways. Some people think it's some kind of like hidden gem. It's honestly terrible. But it's so bad in such a weird way that it's almost entertaining. Kind of like, and I got to bring this up, and I know a lot of you people are going to hate my guts when I mention this. Speaking of bladder, the energy drink and the water, I'm going to have to use the bathroom for a minute. I want to keep it going. If you guys hang tight with me, I'm going to roll till about 6:15. I'm just going to push it, man, because I don't know how to do it any other way. But let me tell you this. The deal breaker in my life, shit, man. The deal breaker in my life is, Napoleon Dynamite. I was watching a video today with a buddy, and I was like, dude, check this out, because I was talking about making a prison musical, which of course sounds insane. You don't get it, but I'm telling you, up here, it makes all the sense in the world. Who would have thought that Dewey Cox, is that the one with Walk the Line where John C. Reilly made a movie that was basically a riff on Johnny Cash? Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Hilarious. Or literally one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It's a classic. A lot of people haven't seen it. It's great. It's amazing. Anyhow, Napoleon Dynamite. I'm showing him this thing that I'm like, this is kind of my inspiration for this. Because like every idea, it's all built off of something else. We're talking about foundations. Well, you don't get to the top of the cathedral without building a good foundation. And everybody knows the foundations are pretty simple. A lot of hard work, but they're simple. Everything is built off of something else. So I'm showing him this thing, which is kind of my inspiration for this. He says, if you think this is funny, what's your problem with Napoleon Dynamite? Because I've said this before, if there is a deal breaker, I'm willing to let a lot of things go. A lot. A lot. The two things, well, there's three things I'm just not going to tolerate. One is beating on a woman. Two is beating on or doing anything untoward towards a child. And the third thing is thinking that Napoleon Dynamite is any better than the toilet paper that I just used to wipe my ass or I'm about to. This is literally the most unfunny thing I've ever seen. I just don't get it. He's like, I said, okay, fine. You don't think this is funny, or you think it's funny, but I ought to think that this is funny. I said, okay, well, let's just Google the best of Napoleon Dynamite. What am I missing here? The guy puts tater tots in his pocket. My buddy over here's laughing his ass off. I mean, he's got like Velcro pants. He puts a pile of tater tots. Hey, Pedro, can I get you? Everybody acts like they're on Quaaludes or they're on benzos. Hey, Napoleon, you want to vote for me? Pedro, hey, can I have your tots? Napoleon, sure, Pedro, you can have my tots. Great. What? What the fuck is happening here? This movie made a goddamn fortune. How? It literally, I mean, it looks like a couple of, I don't want to say anything again to keep me. Look, if you like it, don't tell me about it because it's going to make me sick. I'm never going to be able to look at you in the eye again as a real human. I just can't, I don't understand. There's not a single part of that movie. I think the thing where he threw the pork chop at the guy on the bike or whatever, I thought that was kind of funny just because it kind of came out of nowhere. And there's this dude it's just, is it set in the 80s? Is it modern day? I mean, I know it's like 15 years old, but what am I missing? I mean, the guy just sounds like he's on a lot of drugs, but he's not on drugs. He's like special. He's like one of these like remedial special ed kids who draws really shitty pictures and has, looks like Colonel Sanders. I mean, he looks like a 15-year-old version of Colonel Sanders. I guess if you think that's funny, fine. I don't get it. It's bizarre to me. Napoleon Dynamite. Boy, talk about lightning in a bottle. I mean, so I have to go right down to the bottom of the Fisher King. Yeah, you're talking about Jeff Bridges. You've got Terry Gilliam. I saw that in the theater, actually. I really didn't get it at the time, but I mean, I knew that that's a very visual movie. Fiji water. Can we ban Fiji water? Number one, you're way overpriced. Okay? I could get like, Aquafina? I could even get Evian, which is like the gold standard. It used to be in my day, the gold standard of water. If you had a bottle of Evian, people knew. You know, you had the Rolex, you had the brand new Aviators, you had the Armani suit with the shark skin, and then your bottle of Evian. Now you know you've made it when you have a bottle of Evian. Now it's, Fiji? Or it's some other weird bottle that looks like, like a P. Diddy liquor, like Ciroc. It looks like Ciroc. I'm like, oh, wow, somebody's drinking Ciroc in the middle of the street. No, it's like some fancy water bottle that they paid $4 for like 15 ounces of water. It's insane to me. Napoleon is my favorite movie. It is cool. No cursing, no sex, and no violence. You lost me each way. I can't believe I even read that entire sentence. You lost me at Napoleon. You lost me at favorite movie. It's your favorite movie? What's your second favorite movie? Look, I gotta know. If Napoleon Dynamite is your favorite movie, please tell me number 2. What, is it Nacho Libre? Benchwarmers? Is it just John Heater you love? Is it the director? What's the second worst movie I've ever seen? Probably Clifford with Martin Short. On the other hand, it does have one funny scene. The worst, oof. I need to get some more water and rehydrate myself. I really have to digest this whole Napoleon Dynamite thing. And I don't mean literally with the toilet paper. I'm not really digesting anything, but I do have to get some water. I'm going to take like a 5-minute break. Look, I get the no cursing, no section. Why are you in my chat? That doesn't even make sense. You don't like cursing, sex, or violence. What are you doing here? I'm talking about nothing but. But I'm going to try and clean it up for you, Christy. I'm not going to judge you. I understand that people have different tastes. We don't all have the same taste. But you really need to watch more stuff, because if that's your favorite movie. Now, Leonard Part 6, that's, okay, there you go. That's probably, Leonard Part 6 must be your second favorite movie, because that is really, I would say either that or Norbit. You know what's funny? Let me tell you something about Norbit. You want to talk about prison? You want to talk about jail? A movie that is watched repeatedly. Because more often than not, a guy like me, or a guy like any of these other prison YouTubers, let's be real, none of them, there's not a single prison YouTuber in the world that's running shit that I've seen. For real. They need a lot of help. It ain't happening. You can believe it all you want, whatever, it ain't happening. These are not the type of people that run shit in prison. Sorry, I ain't seen one yet. So, one movie that comes on repeatedly is fucking Norbit. And every time it's about oh man, Norbit's coming on. I honestly start pulling out my sheet. I start wrapping it up. I start tying it up. I start trying to find a place to to anchor it. And every time I think this is the day, this is the night that I'm going to end it all. I got to end it all, because I just can't watch Norbit one. And I like Eddie Murphy. I love him. I mean, Trading Places, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, Harlem Nights. I mean, Trading Places. Look, the guy has been in some amazing movies. He's hilarious. His stand-up is great. I mean, Eddie Murphy is amazing. Saturday Night Live, Gumby, the whole thing. He's amazing. Norbit is honestly, I think, was the tipping point for the decline of Western civilization. If you think that Norbit, bullshit. Borat was amazing. It was a product of its time, but at the time, Borat in the theater with people that were ready to go get it, Borat was amazing. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and take 5 minutes. Please don't queue up Norbit. Don't stream it. This is about mental health. This is about getting this thing right here into the right place. And I'm here to tell you that Norbit, in the climate that we live in right now, in COVID-19, so many people unemployed. Are you going to get unemployment? Are you not? Are you going to get evicted? Are you not? Are you going to go crazy? Are you not? We're going to try to do not, right? But if you go to the side of Norbit, Norbit is just enough to push you over the edge. And with that, I'll leave you with that. Please stay away from it. It's radioactive. Give me probably 5, 7, or 8 minutes. A lot of you will probably leave. If you don't, I'll try and do my very best to make it worth your while. But my mouth is literally like, I have nothing. I gotta get it right. And we'll talk about something cool, I promise. I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna try and give everybody a shout out really quick, if nothing else. I'm gonna say your name, make sure it's the real thing, or something really funny. Trolls welcome. Got no problem with that. I don't ban anybody for anything. The only thing that I would ever ban anybody for is if it's some kind of doxing of like, and I don't give a shit about my personal information, but families, number one, don't do that. Number two is just completely spamming links, link, like advertising for something. I'm not really, you know what I mean? I mean, just those two things, that's it. You want to talk about whatever you want to talk about in there? No problem. I'm 100% okay with it. But, so anyway, yeah, go ahead and give me, like I said, 5 to 10. I'm going to go ahead and cue up that amazing piece of music that me and my very good friend worked on last night for no particular reason at all. It was just a dream. that needed to be translated. And just let me tell you, not all dreams are good. What?
And the train owned the ability to be a real contract killer. By God, I was gonna do it.
Yeah, I might have made a few mistakes, just like every real American.
This was gonna be the comeback of a century. I was gonna make the most and take advantage of every opportunity. You lucky dog. Here I come, Alburus. Here I come, Georgia Parole Boot Camp. Here I come, America.
Pushing yourself behind the limits of human suffering. Push yourself to push yourself. Push yourself. Mind, body, soul. To become something else.
A sharp weapon to be wielded.
Steak, potatoes, and apple pie. Baseball.
An undercover
Sex. Yeah, I'm gonna get all that more.
shitting out. Solid.
By the end of it all, I'll earn back my respect. To be a malleable piece of clay hardened into iron. Oh, makes sense.
This is your chance. This is your chance to get back.
Obstacle courses, rope climbing, walking, running, hiking,
Spelunking.
climbing, Everest, being an alpinist, apple pie, steak, baseball, eating sand and washing it down with salt water.
The imagination ran wild. The possibilities were endless.
Gonna get out of this place with a 6 hour.
And the train owned the ability to be a real contract killer. By God, I was gonna do it.
Yeah, I might have made a few mistakes, just like every real American.
This was gonna be the comeback of a century. I was gonna make the most and take advantage of every opportunity. You lucky dog. Here I come, Alburus. Here I come, Georgia Parole Boot Camp. Here I come, America.
Pushing yourself behind the limits of human suffering. Push yourself to push yourself. Push yourself. Mind, body, soul. To become something else.
A sharp weapon to be wielded.
Steak, potatoes, and apple pie. Baseball.
An undercover
Sex. Yeah, I'm gonna get all that more.
shitting out. Solid.
By the end of it all, I'll earn back my respect. To be a malleable piece of clay hardened into iron. Oh, makes sense.
This is your chance. This is your chance to get back.
Obstacle courses, rope climbing, walking, running, hiking,
Spelunking.
climbing, Everest, being an alpinist, apple pie,
Steak, baseball, eating sand and washing it down with salt water.
The imagination ran wild. The possibilities were endless.
I was gonna get out of this place with a sig sour and the train owned the ability to be a real contract killer. By God, I was gonna do it.
Yeah, I might have made a few mistakes, just like every good American.
This was gonna be the comeback of a century. I was gonna make the most and take advantage of every opportunity. You lucky dog. Here I come, Al Burris. Here I come, Georgia Parole Boot Camp. Here I come, America.
Pushing yourself behind the limits of human suffering. Push yourself to push yourself. Push yourself. Mind, body, soul. To become something else.
A sharp weapon to be wielded.
Steak, potatoes, apple pie, baseball.
All right, what do we... Come on, man. Is it not playing the music? Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, can you hear me now? Again, a lot of the reason I do this late at night, oh my God, I sound completely different with water. It's crazy. I can't even recognize the sound of my own voice. No, I wasn't taking a dump. I was just... Well, honestly, I was getting hydrated and I smoked a cigarette. You know, yeah, I do. I smoke. It's a bad habit. I thought maybe... Let's go ahead and stop shooting the heroin. Maybe stop shooting the cocaine. And, maybe cut out some of the meth. You can't hear me. Sound is live again. Okay. I'm going to take your word for it. And so I thought, well, every man needs a vice. Mine is still smoking. I tried vaping for a little while. And then it just got to the point where the juice... It's very technical. I mean, these people with the, it's almost like tricking out a car. Like I had a Honda S2000 at one time and I, put like $8,000-9,000 into this thing, just the suspension and the VTEC controller. And I never did go the turbo route, but everything was like, handling and, getting a white hardtop because I wanted it to look like this spoon car, whatever. But I was at this vape shop. They had a thing, it was a turbo charger for the vape. I said, well, what does that do? It was like $180. I said, oh my God, what the hell can $180? That can't be good for you. I mean, not the smoking cigarettes is good for you, but holy shit, $180 to add a bolt-on turbocharger for a $150 vape machine, and then it's got to be the right, just a salt nick or this kind of juice and that. Who the hell wants to smoke? See, look, when I smoke a cigarette, or if I smoke, period, even when I did vape, I really like the stuff to be like the tobacco kind. I mean, to me, smoking a banana split, it's just kind of weird. It just seems all the way wrong. It just seems all the way wrong to me. But yeah, you can't quit everything at once. I mean, maybe you can. But here's the thing. At AA meetings and NA meetings, there are two things that are ubiquitous. There are two things that are everywhere, and that's coffee and that's cigarettes. I think there was a dictator or some military guy that said, look, if let me try and do something real quick. That said, without cigarettes and coffee, or he may have said cigarettes and alcohol, men would go insane. Now, he was talking about men in combat, and I believe this was during World War I, which was, talk about insane combat. But anyway, all right, so somebody made a comment here that I thought was really, 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 really funny, and I wanted to get, why does this guy, mixed martial arts, he keeps going on about $800? What is this $800 thing? I honestly have no idea, but you are really stuck on that number. Is it compulsive? Is it, I mean, why are you so fixated on it? Why are you so obsessed with $800? Now, that is an idea. I know a guy that hosts old B-rate movies on YouTube. Old B movies on YouTube. Old 80s golden horror mostly. Well, why? I mean, that's an idea for him, right? Because he's already doing that. Why would I want to do what he's doing? You think maybe I could do it better? I don't really like, well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that I don't like, I just don't have time. I'm at the point in my life now where if I actually sit down and watch a movie, it's hard for me. When I got out of jail or prison this time, I haven't even, like, I really loved Stranger Things the first couple of seasons. I loved it. I got out. I never finished season 3. Not because it wasn't any good. I actually thought it was better than the second season, but I've never finished it. There is not a single show, you can't name a show that's ever existed in life that I've seen every episode from beginning to end. There isn't a single one. I can't think of one that's never happened in my life. So, like, binge watching, I mean, I've done enough binging on other things to not be binge watching television shows. That's not to say that they're not amazing. I mean, because television or streaming or whatever you want to call it, I guess it's not really television, right? I mean, Netflix and so on and so forth. I mean, it's not like old school television. They're like movies. And they're, you can explore the characters and all that stuff. So, whatever. Anyway, that's not what you came here for. You came here for the addiction stuff, the recovery stuff, and the prison stuff. You don't want to hear me talk about movies. You don't want to hear me talk about Chewbacca's beard, or do you? I don't know. My hopes is that Yanni is behind any of the drama. That's not the well, whatever. I'm behind it. You hope I'm behind the drama that others bring forward. What, do you hope that I'm the puppeteer that's controlling the marionette? Imagine this is the puppet, this cup right here. Why did I switch cups? That's for you to figure out. It might be a sign. It might be a signal to someone. It might be a sign or a signal to you that I know more than you think I know, because I'm the man behind the drama. Myself and 2,500 subscribers. The 50 people that are in this chat. The $8 that's been invested, not donated, but invested. With those resources at my fingertips, I can control the entire genre of prison YouTube. Now you know. Now do me a favor, just the 52 of us now that are in this space. Keep all of that between us. But yes, I am the man behind it all. Which I don't even think I can say that anymore. Can I even say man anymore? Or am I cisgender? And look, don't get it twisted, okay? I'm a pretty liberated guy as far as that goes. I'm all about diversity. I'm all about acceptance. I'm all about all that stuff. Look, if you want to be, pretend that you are a warthog and live in the forest and whittle some ivory down and stick it through your nose and go rooting around in, pig shit and horse shit, I don't begrudge you the opportunity to fulfill your fantasy. I want you to live your own life. As long as you're not bothering someone else, go for it, man. Maybe I went for it. Maybe that's what brought me here. Who knows? Who knows? So anyway, I'm going to try and give... Aren't you a smart one? I'm not even going to call you out. But there is a particular individual that left a comment that is right on the money. And I'll let you figure out what it is. Is it the McDonald's cup? Is it me, the puppeteer, the marionette, the master controller behind it all? Behind the drama on YouTube? Who would know? You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even think it's possible. Is there a fly in here? Unbelievable. You just got to keep going. Fuck it. We'll do it live. It's me. All right. Where is this comment that, you know what? So that's, somebody said buffered. You know, like I was trying to figure out if it was live or you could hear the sound or whatever, and there's just so much delay in order to make it just as streamy and creamy. There is a fly on the motherfucking webcam. Oh my God. Which, by the way, this webcam is from a conference unit, and it's probably 10 years old. It's old as shit. You can actually remote control it, so that's the cool part about it, but... And see what? You want to see my microwave? You want to see my nearly empty tub of whey protein? And that's one thing I've tried to do, even though I have not been able to work out or, exercise much. You know, I do some walking, that kind of thing. I've done a little bit of running here and there, but I hit a wall pretty quickly. But I always try to consume protein. That's a tip. It's a pro tip that if you want to stay reasonably in shape, the diet is a big thing. Once you get there, you're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything. But if you get to the point where your body is like, okay, that's kind of acceptable for me, just make sure that you consume enough protein. Now, people process nutrients in different ways, whatever. For instance, white rice. Before I go to the gym, about an hour before, I eat white rice. Some people eat brown rice. But to me, white rice gives me more energy, and I have a better workout as a result. Most people, bodybuilders, for instance, they eat white rice. But some people don't process it as well. You have to figure that out. You have to know your own body. You got to test it. I'm not saying, become a chemistry set, a walking, talking chemistry lab experiment. But to a certain extent, yes, you have to play around with this stuff in order to find out what works for you. Like me in my recovery, for instance. AA and NA just wasn't enough. It's a part of it. It's a part of it. Which brings me to this kid. I don't have much time. I had a kid who's 20 years old, black kid, in a lot of trouble. I can't really say where he is, where he's from. He's currently getting treatment, but he got caught with a lot of stuff in a little town, and he is black. And, we're in Northern Virginia, which is fine, but this didn't happen here. It happened in a place that's a little more rural. And so with a kid like that, you worry about him. I mean, I've talked to him for about an hour tonight. Sometimes I periodically go to the rehab that I went to that laid the foundation for my sobriety, and I go up there, and I want to get a little taste of what I went through. And, if people are having a hard time with it, maybe every once in a while I could say a word. It's something I haven't been able to do recently so much because of me being sick, but I happened to go up there. I wanted to schedule this interview with this person that I'm going to do on Sunday, which I think is going to be very interesting. We can get his thoughts about rehab while he's in it, and then he has to turn himself in the following Sunday. And then I'm going to shoot that as well. We'll see if anything's changed. And he's a major fuck up. I mean, this guy's done 13 years in prison. He's had God knows how many felonies. He's done everything from use drugs to sell drugs. In and out of prison, he's done both, the drugs and the sell. And he's willing to be honest about everything. No blurring of the face, completely real. And I know him. And so a lot of these conversations that I have with people are interviews. They're not going to be, it's me. It's you. It's me. It's you. It's me. It's you. We're sitting in a room. What could be more boring? What could possibly be more boring? Me personally, don't like sitting in chairs. That's why it's hard for me with the computer and everything else, man. I gotta move. Even in the car business, nowadays, the internet drives a lot of this stuff. And you gotta text, and you gotta email, and you gotta make a lot of phone calls. I want the fresh up on the lot, and then let me do what I do. Let me work that magic, whatever little bit I might have. Different time. You got to adapt, right? But sitting my ass in a chair in front of a desk, you couldn't pay me enough to do that all day, every day. So I want to be on the move. Once I get cleared to be around a larger group of people, reintegrate back into society, we have a lot of very, very, very interesting social experiments that I haven't even become close to bringing up. Because I want to do them. I want to do them my own way. And if somebody wants to copy that, great, knock yourself out. But I'm going to do it first. The days of people stealing my ideas or me giving them ideas and not giving me any credit for it are over. They're all over. That isn't happening anymore. Now I get to do them my way on my channel. And if they flop and they fail and they don't work, and some of them won't, and that's okay. I'll try and make it okay. I'm not saying it's okay right now. It's like, don't want that to happen, but I want a little bit more control over my material. All right. So I'm going to go list a bunch of shout outs. I am literally going to have to leave in about 40 minutes. I got to pack my camera bag and and get everything prepped. I always get, look, let me give you another little tip. When you go to the hospital and it's something serious, always make sure you bring a handheld video game system, because the internet may not be there. I don't personally like playing games, touchscreens. I like to be able to control what I'm doing. I'm not so good with touchscreens. I don't know if anybody notices, but I have giant hands. For somebody who is my size, most people, it's crazy. 6'3", 6'4", 250, whatever. I have bigger hands than almost all of them. It's just the way I was made. And you know what they say about big hands. That motherfucker's got big hands. That's all they say. They don't say anything else. All right, so anyway, whoa, holy cow. All right, Kelly Wilson. Michelle says, I believe in you, Yanni. Thank you very much. She also says you need to go to sleep. Michelle, worry about yourself. I'm not the sleeping type. I've been in this bad pattern, where will stay up for almost 2 days. A lot of people would say, well, that's methamphetamines. I assure you I'm on absolutely nothing. Because I have to be prepped, just in case. Forget about everything else, wanting to stay sober, clarity of thought, lucidity in my mind. I want to live, right? Well, guess what? If for some reason I had something in my system and I do need a liver transplant and I got to get on that list ASAP, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. I think I'm going to be okay eventually. There's going to be some worse for the wear. There's going to be some extra tread on the tires. No question about it, okay? I think that some of this arthritic stuff, it's going to stick. I think the burning that I get in my eyes, I don't know if it's going away. I just got a new prescription. You guys are probably wondering, I've never seen you with glasses before. Not exactly high end. I'll show you the glasses I got. I have prison glasses and I have jail glasses. One of these prison or jail optometrists, convinced me to get bifocals. He gives me glasses that are like the size of like a 12-year-old's. And I have a giant head. I also have a very big head. It's weird. I have a big head, a giant nose, and here, let me say another thing. A lot of people make comments about my nostrils, and I get it. They're huge. They're enormous. They're cavernous. You could get lost up in there. Somebody mentioned spunking. They're probably talking about my nasal cavity. What's weird about it is I can only breathe out of one of them. Fact is, part of my face is paralyzed. Now, a lot of people say, man, you got a face like rubber. You're so expressive and everything else. But really, this portion of my face right here, I got hit in the head with a tray. while I was on the phone. I am going to make a video about it, but it broke both orbital bones, and I couldn't see for a few weeks. And my nose has been broken so many times that I literally can't breathe out of one nostril. I can only breathe out of the left. I can't breathe out of the right. No matter what, no matter how. And some people would make the joke, well, it's all that cocaine you put up your nose. Well, keep in mind, I haven't snorted cocaine in decades. You would all go right around there. All right, so anyway, we're going to race through this real quick. All right, because I feel like you guys deserve it. You guys hung with me. I didn't give you any advance notice whatsoever. There's a reason for that. One of it's I'm embarrassed, about the technical issues that I might run into, whatever. But another thing is, it's a part of the thing with the thing. I don't want anybody to have a whole lot of advance notice because I'm very paranoid about certain things happening. All right, so let's find a good starting place, because I really want to get with everyone. Killian74, now the audio is fixed. Thank God for that. We're going all the way to 3:42 a.m. We've already addressed, I don't know what happened with the gallbladder thing. Medicating with Steve-O. What have you been sick with COVID? I already explained it. Once I find out that I'm clear, I'll tell you exactly what it is with the liver, but I can tell you this. It's a liver disease. It's very rare. Look it up. What I didn't want to hear is people would say, well, that's from drugs and all this stuff. Because look, what I have, is very common that it would come from drugs. I honestly didn't want to have to listen to that, deal with it. I know some people are going to say it, and that's fine. But I want to hear everybody say, it's not how I got it. Nobody knows how I got it. The timeline, really, the doctor said at UVA that I probably got it from a hospital. I'm not going to name it. The fact of the matter is, if you get something from blood in a hospital, and this was a very hectic time when all of this happened in the world and in hospitals in general. The fact of the matter is, I don't have a leg to stand on because I have a substance abuse history. So if that's exactly how it happened, then I don't have a leg to stand. I don't have a case. There's some things in life, once you become a convict, once you've committed certain crimes, it doesn't matter what you say. You are whistling in the dark, and you're just going to have to sack up and deal with it. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm sacking up and I'm dealing with it. All right. Crazy Mofo Killer says, I'm a registered nurse. With a name like that, I don't believe you. You're going to have to prove it. I'm going to need some receipts on that one. Liver levels. I've had Hep C since 2005. I can tell you that I do not have hepatitis C. Fact is, hepatitis C, you're not going to get levels as high as mine, or you're going to be dead. That's it. The liver is shot. It's over with. You're either going to get a transplant or you're going to die within a matter of days. That's how nasty it is. Liver is the only organ that can completely regenerate itself. I don't know if it can completely regenerate itself. No, I don't have cirrhosis, by the way, that I'm aware of. All right. I already gave you a shout out. I don't understand what the 33 degrees LOL dopamine rush. I don't know what that means. Grandpa, we already talked about that. And then the inoculation, the preservation with, and that's interesting, because if you do live kind of a harder life, I always wondered, because I was so rough on my body in the beginning. I say the beginning like I'm 17. But if you're so rough on your body in the beginning, or in the first half of your life, but then you clean it all the way up, perhaps, I've built myself a certain amount of immunity and tolerance for more caustic and extreme conditions. I'd like to believe that. Is that true? It's possible. I don't know. It's a personal theory of mine. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Love The Wire. I've never seen it. Never seen a single episode. I have loads of friends. That's not true. I have friends. I don't know if I have loads of them, but I have friends. Anyway, almost every one of them has seen The Wire. They love it. They say it's the best show ever made. I've never seen it. I know it's in Baltimore, which is not that far from here. Heroin capital of the world. I think other than Afghanistan, where they actually harvest this shit. I haven't had much energy since I got sober. Maybe post, he says pause, which is post-acute withdrawal symptoms. And there's a lot of debate. Is that physical? Is it psychological? Post-acute withdrawal symptoms. Post being after, acute being sort of immediate. And then withdrawal, obviously excreting or, suffering from not having that thing. And then syndrome, well, you know what that is. I think it's, again, it's different. I've had people that have gone through the worst withdrawals, and their habits are not that significant. I tried Kratom for a while. I thought, well, you know what? The solution to all this is Kratom or Kratom, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to make a video about that because I have very strong feelings about this over-the-counter thing that isn't federal FDA regulated. Federal Drug Administration regulated. It's not. It's kind of like street heroin now. You just never know what you're going to get. As a fentanyl, you don't know what you're going to get. But I did try it. I've tried everything but abstinence. Okay? Kratom, spice, CBD oils, hallucinogens, drinking instead of shooting whatever. Tried it all. All right. Yeah, you got cash. You keep asking me about Cash App, and I keep giving you a link. And again, like I said, investments, anything that's given, even if it's $8 or whatever the hell it is, $3, $2, whatever. Mixed Martial Arts Nightmare, the man that needs $800 gave me $5. Shout out, or I even don't even like saying it. Just something about shout out just seems really corny. But I want to thank Mixed Martial Arts Nightmare for the $5. I promise it will be money well spent, and I will show a receipt. That might not be just for the $5. It'll be, for the total. But I will show you how I am spending that money. And I can assure you it's not going to be on anything but to make it better. So, Kelly Wilson, you ought to start your own channel. You're talking about your grandmother baking you a pie when you were 8 years old. It's so heartwarming. It's touching. You keep asking me about Cash Apps. Great. All right. Kenny Evans, look in one of your past live streams. You said you wondered if there was a video of you when you OD'd in 2018. Well, guess there was. Oh, what? You think I'm not aware of that? What do you think? I've been living in a cave? Making videos? With a box of scraps? No, Kenny, I'm very aware of most of some of this stuff. Does that even make any sense? No, and it's not supposed to. You should put the stuff that's too abstract for YouTube. It's not even just abstract, it's extreme. It's honest, it's raw, it's heartbreaking, it's illuminating. A lot of it's what not to do. Some of it is what to do, and some of it is weird, and some of it is crazy. Dye your beard pink. Who knows? I might do that. That's not a grab. That's actually a good idea. I might dye my beard before I get rid of it. Akira Kurosawa did an interpretive film about his dreams called Dreams. Well, actually, I believe it was a lot of other directors were involved in that, right? And they had their own little dreams, and it was like 4 or 5 different guys. Anyway, it was like an anthology movie. If I remember correctly, maybe I'm wrong. I thought Martin Scorsese made one. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm thinking of New York Stories. Anyway, I don't know who this Tom Skilling is. You lost me there. Kitty Evans, Yanni, please read what I sent you, brother. Nobody should make monetary gain. Call someone that had a near-death experience. I don't know what you mean. I'll need you to speak English next time. Don't take it the wrong way. I just don't understand. All right. How trippy now that you say that his brother's name rings a bell. Cool. I think you guys are having a conversation. I'm trying to give you a little. Everybody said they want. Emily, I see you're a moderator. Could you please tell Yanni what I said, please and thank you? I missed it. All right. 65 Bell says, good God, I'm glad you're back, Yanni. Well, I'm glad to be back. Kelly Wilson, I ought to like hire you. If I had money, I would. I mean, you are a live wire, man. All right. Matt M. never explained the gallbladder thing. Jody A. Hi, Yanni. Hey, Jody A. I think I already talked to you or talked about you. Yanni, Stipe DC this weekend. Who takes it? Oh, my goodness gracious. I mean, Stipe. I'm sorry. Not Stipe. No, Michael Stipe, REM. He's fighting Daniel Cormier. That would be something. I would pay to see that. You know, 65-year-old Michael Stipe. Queer as a football bat. Pretty sure he's got AIDS. You know what's funny is that, I mean, I'm not like I don't like any of their music, you know, maybe 30 years ago. But my dad, actually, my real dad, he actually owned a hi-fi stereo store and in Athens, Georgia. Michael Stipe came in to buy some stereo gear. I'm not going to say what he said about this guy other than to say that he has never smelled anyone that had a more pungent aroma than Michael Stipe, which is pretty incredible. I mean, the guy's worth probably $50, $100 million. And probably has the nicest shower, bathroom, whatever in the world, and he just refuses to use it. Maybe that's part of his artistic process. He might be watching the David Lynch instructional videos that I was watching. Six Skills says, love your vids and stream. Well, you know, I can't tell because really, honestly, what's crazy is I get a lot more views with the live streams than I do with the videos, especially the boot camp video, which I probably spent more time editing than the other ones. And the reason why is I thought, I just felt like it was a story I needed to tell to get to the point where I needed to go. And it was to tell the story in a linear way. I thought that would be an interesting take, is to start from the beginning and get to the end. Now, other people have done that on this kind of format, but to actually edit it, put it together, and, you know, make it into something, you know, where you've actually put a little work and effort into it, I thought would be an interesting thing. I'm not going to do that every video, but I am going to complete that playlist. It might take me 73 years to do it, but I'm going to do it. Dr. Suicide. Well, you guys have some fucked up names. Dr. Suicide, greetings from Canada. It's not even that cold here today. Well, I don't know. Canada's a big place, right? I mean, it's a big place. I mean, I'm pretty sure Canada, the land, the area, the square footage, the square acreage in Canada is pretty damn close to the United States, if not bigger. So, I mean, I don't know. Big place. But I'm glad that it's not cold unless that's what you like. And really, why would you live in Canada if you didn't like cold weather? That would be crazy. Talk about insanity. Which, oh, by the way, this thing, it drives me crazy. When people say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, I hear this in meetings all the time. It's not really the definition. Go look it up in your Oxford English Dictionary. Now, it might be some kind of like, you know, it's a saying, it's something, it's a phrase, I believe, in AA. I might be completely wrong about that. Now you guys think I don't even go to meetings anymore. But I'm telling you, I know, Kenny. I know. I've seen it, okay? I referenced it the last time I was in the fucking live stream. I know. You think I haven't seen that video? Are you kidding me? Of course I've seen it. Give me a break. Wonderful. Because I'll tell you, nothing says friendship and love like acting like a guy is stalking you in a parking lot. Which anybody who knows me knows I don't care enough to stalk anybody about anything, whether it's a girl. Every girlfriend I've ever had, I've always said, hey, look, you don't like it, hit it. And especially me as I am now. I mean, I'm a hard nut to crack. It's tough to deal with me. I get it. I mean, I'm crazy. I go up and down and all around, and I'm always trying to, you know, find this path to spiritual centeredness. And sometimes for other people around me, that's tough. It's a very strong cup of coffee. All right. Jesus Christ, Kenny. See, now this is the part where I'd say, hey, Kenny, you know, I mean, first of all, I've seen you. Let's just cut the shit, right? Because I try and look at every single comment in the video. Now, maybe there would be a point in time if I had like 3 billion subscribers where I wouldn't have the time to do that. But until I do, I like to look at the majority of them. You know, I don't want to be the guy that uploads a video, hearts like the first 3 comments, and then splits. The thing I love about this format, the whole thing, is that I can be highly interactive with people that are interested in what I'm talking about or what I'm showing them, or like a video or don't like a video. I feel strongly about it either way. I am okay with you not liking me, not liking the sound of my voice, the cut of my jib, the shape of my face. It's fine. I got no problem with that at all. But I want you to feel something. And if hate is all you can feel when you see my face or watch my video, I'm okay with that. I'd rather you hate it than say, meh. So yeah, we get it, man. We get it. I mean, I got it the first 47 times you mentioned it. Only 22 likes and 47 people here. SMH. Who gives a shit? I mean, I really don't care. I don't care. I don't even know what that means. Likes, dislikes. What difference does it make? I've seen people have thousands of likes on something they've done and then get like 7 dislikes and they're literally sweating about it the whole time. I've honestly heard this in real life. I'm like, who gives a shit? What difference? I don't even know does that mean anything? What does it mean? It's just a button that you press. Does it do something to the YouTube algorithm? I don't know enough about this to even say. I don't have a clue. And people keep asking me, the Super Chat, I have Streamlabs. I don't have Super Chat in YouTube. I am not monetized. You have to be monetized on YouTube in order to utilize the Super Chat feature. They have like a join feature where you can join, you know, I don't know, my clubhouse or whatever. Maybe we can pass back and forth. We can pass back, porn that old daddy left in a chest down in the basement from 1987. Nothing too wild, not a lot of penetration, just basic garden variety stuff. Pages stuck together. Take it to your house. Give it a try in the bathroom. Bring it on back. Maybe we trade it. In the clubhouse, you know. We listen to gangster rap. We talk about what we're going to do someday. Play with toy soldiers. Huff some butane. You know, the usual. Maybe get some duster. Use it as a suppositor. Who knows? Who knows? Craig H says, I forget, I'm not saying that. Okay. Is a drug mule when a female drug horse and a male drug donkey love each other very much? We'll have to ask Steve whenever I can get that up and running. I'm going to try to do it Saturday, which is tomorrow. At the rate I'm going now, probably not. All right. I really love this so much, says Matt. This is a great comment. It really warms my heart. I really love this so much. Spending these late hours with Yanni makes me feel like I'm a part of something bigger. You know what'll make you feel like a part of something even bigger? Is actually listening to a little bit. If you have any addiction issues at all, please take heed. The little bit that I can give you, probably not going to change the world, but maybe set you on the right path. Look, here's the deal. If I can get clean, I mean, really, if I can get clean for any length of time, and I have, it's a miracle. It really is a miracle. But it takes work. Anything worth having is worth working for. Makes you feel better when you get there, or you get closer. All right, Pizzagate is fake. It's a political tool. I don't know. I mean, just look, you lost me at Pizzagate. I get this guy. He's a friend of mine. He constantly talks about Pizzagate. It's such a stupid name that I don't even know what to say. I guess if it's real, it's really fucked up. I don't even know much about it. That there was some kind of like, what? Oh boy. 3, 2, 1. It's about to go. So, what? They were molesting kids at a pizza parlor or something, and Hillary Clinton was behind it all? That would be a hell. I mean, can you imagine if that's real? It just seems ridiculous to me. I mean, she's kind of ridiculous. But what do I know? Not a huge Hillary Clinton fan, but My God, if she's running a pedophilia ring out of a Papa John's, I mean, what the hell? Anyone's capable of anything. Why would you do that? Why would you run it out of a pizza place? Why wouldn't you run it out of like a Chuck E. Cheese? It seems like that's the ideal. Well, they do have pizza there. Oh, the plot thickens. Maybe it's real. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. I think it's something you shouldn't mess with. Right? I'm not messing with Pizzagate. I'm talking about a real story that actually happened. Not saying that didn't, whatever. But I'm talking about something real. And I don't really give a shit about... You just have to watch it. I mean, come back to planet Earth. It's flat. You'll love it. I mean, come on. All right. Would you ever... Howard Cook said... Forget it. Look, I never say never. Anything is possible. On the other hand, if somebody's constantly saying, fuck that dude, he's a piece of shit. Oh, you mean that cokehead, that guy? Odds are slim. Odds are slim. All right. That's really so admiral or really someone to look up to. I definitely am somebody to look up to. If you're below my eye line, I will always be somebody, Matt, that you can look up to. That's a terrible joke. All right. We're getting close here. We're getting close. All right. Pretty much about how I was a U.S. citizen who flew to Syria and fought with the YPG against ISIS for 2 years. I eventually want to take all that footage and make a movie. Well, I would like to make that movie. I'd like to see that footage. It sounds fascinating. I actually had a buddy of mine that tried to get in with that group. And I think I think he failed the screening process. Or his girlfriend said, nah, you're not doing it. Has anybody posted the link to this on 4chan? What? 4chan, 8chan? Whoa. You want to talk about Pizzagate. There's all the secrets I think are on there. All right. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Hi, I'm from Tasmania, Australia. I didn't even know that was a real thing. I thought it was just the name of a cartoon character that... There it goes. Gorilla Tape, not all it's cracked up to be. It's really not. I thought 6 pieces of this stuff, it would hold it in place. Unbelievable. Fuck Gorilla Tape. All right, this is getting really crazy. Losing people at ESP, the girls are hard enough. My channel has the video of the last firefight. Oh, cool. I'll try and check it out. I don't have time right now, but maybe. On the front line was basically find trash bags for chest seals and rope for cats. Okay. I don't understand some of those acronyms. I would imagine that's not the musical with the people with the tails looking like felines. But anyway, we'll get into that. All right, so. Do I believe in Bigfoot? You know, there's a channel where do I believe in, there's nothing to believe in. It's like, do I believe in water? Do you believe in water? Do you believe in air? Do you believe in floor? Do you believe in lamp? Do you believe in cup? Do I believe in Bigfoot? All of those things that I just mentioned, all of a piece, same deal. Do I believe in Bigfoot? Peter Cairn, dog training, YouTube channel, check it out. This guy actually took a car battery with jumper cables. He found Bigfoot's penis. His dad had actually killed it's not just one of them. There's like big feet or Bigfoots. Is it Bigfoots or big feet? I highly recommend. It's actually on YouTube and you could check it out. He actually took a car battery because he was trying to get the ejaculate out of Bigfoot's genitalia. And he was able to get quite a lot of secretion. Peter Cairn, Petercairn, dog training. I was scarred for life when I saw it. I'm not even kidding. You guys, people think I'm making this up. Dude, check it out right now. It's insane. Leave the chat. Get the hell out of here because I'm about to shut this thing down in like 5-10 minutes and then find out for yourself. Open your eyes. But Bigfoot, cup, mic, camera. Do I believe in the camera? Do I believe in the mic? What's tangible? What's real? What's not? I mean, when you really break it down to the molecular level, the subatomic level, what is real and what isn't? Is anything real? Are you real? Am I real? Who knows? But I'm telling you one thing. Bigfoot, cup. Put those two together, you got it. I'm not trying to read all the comments, but I'm trying to read the ones that really jump out at me. You know, somebody told me a long time ago, I'm going to tell you this real quick, because I don't really know much about this. Do I know how to stream and talk to people and go off on tangents and that kind of thing? And yeah, I mean, whatever. I've got a lot of experiences. I've got maybe some craziness to share. I don't know about it, wisdom. But somebody a long time ago said, don't ever respond to someone unless they pay money. Because every time I see something interesting, I want to respond to it because who knows where it's going to go. I'm intrigued by it. It's funny. I like funny. Funny's good. But then I'm only supposed to behaviorally condition people to only respond, or I only respond to you. I only recognize and notice you if you pay money. I will never do that. Life's too short and people are too interesting to only reduce everything to a transaction, to reduce everything to commerce. Fuck that. Okay. Michael Osborne says, want to move to Ohio. Why? Why would I move to Ohio? What the hell is in Ohio? Cleveland? I've been there. It's not that great. Sharon V says, Yanni, you were always my favorite on You Know What. Look, it's not Voldemort. I know what you're talking about. It's not that serious. It's not like, I'm going to release the Kraken if... Glad you started your own thing. I've been to prison twice. Relate to you in a lot of ways. Your name is Sharon. I wonder what that really means. All right. Unironically, you look so... Oh, you're talking to Sharon. So you're over here kicking game, trying to get a little piece of tail in live chat. Well, good luck to you, my friend. I'm rooting for you. I still can't stand your name. Push-ups, dips, and pull-ups will get you bigger than any weights. Absolutely horseshit, by the way. Sorry. I mean, I hate to be an asshole, but that's completely ridiculous. Definitely not true. Definitely not true. Not even close. Okay. Are you going to do skits like you loose to flack, baby? You already know what I'm talking about with the wave files. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely I will. I just told you I want to do a prison musical. I mean, what the hell? Does it get more skittish than that? That's not a word, is it? Does it get more skittles than that? Excuse me for chewing gum. I need the moisture in my mouth. No. I know where the next joke's coming. That's okay. I can read your mind. You're sick. You are sick. Okay, so now we're all the way. We're shout out from Florida. Poor Robin Williams, I know. Jesus Christ. What a talent. Took his own life. So many talented people because of drugs or because of what's going on up here. And this is why they didn't have this outlet or they didn't take advantage of it. Or whether it's Philip Seymour Hoffman or Heath Ledger or Robin Williams or Chester Bennington, or I guess that's Pizzagate, right? That's Pizzagate. The lead singer of Soundgarden, what was his name? Chris Cornell, and so on and so forth. There's the guy who got hit by the Jeep that was in park or whatever, and he got smashed in the mailbox. It had nothing to do with drugs. It just had to do with a crazy Jeep. But anyway, you get the point. Oh, and now we're all the way to the Napoleon fucking Dynamite. Oh, my dad, he just sent me a message. Are you up and rolling? Am I? Oh, God bless him for checking on me. Is this a present channel? Is this rehab? What kind of channel is this? Well, you'll just have to, I don't even know. You'll just have to hang out and try it a few times and we'll figure it out. I've already said what it is. I said it in the very first video. Oh my God, we've got so many more comments to go. All right, well listen, man, I don't have time. I really do have to get ready. I'm going to just zip it on to the very end. And yeah. So is the sun, the moon, and the stars flat? Also, please explain sunrise and sunset then. Yeah, I mean, have you ever heard of what's called the matte painting or perspective? Forced perspective. That's what the sun, the moon, and the stars are. Those are just giant lights, elevated and tilted at such an angle to appear to be responding to a spherical projection of the atmosphere and the resulting reflections. But yeah, of course, those are just lights. Come on. The moon. As if. Okay. 70s porn, what is wrong with you, dude? Seriously, porn didn't even get good till the 90s. I wouldn't know. It's not my jam. Listen, I appreciate everybody for hanging tight with me this entire time. It went on entirely too long, as it always does. But hey, that's okay. I wanted to give everybody a shout out, or at least name recognition. I'm going to call it name recognition. I want to give this person name recognition. I mean, that really has a ring to it, doesn't it? Hey, everybody, let's give name recognition to Linus Skogsrud. I'm pretty sure that's Swedish for ball sack. Sorry, Linus, if it's not, I apologize. Later. I'll apologize later. But anyway, listen, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me and keeping me up so I can get my liver fixed. I'll let you know how it went maybe later tonight. Until then, go get some sleep. If you live in the United States, for crying out loud, go get some sleep or get to work, go make some money, take care of your family, take care of your kids, stay away from drugs, stay away from the booze, and try and do the right thing. Okay? Fair enough? We got a deal? Okay. Good night, good morning. God bless you. Good luck.
I was gonna get out of this place with a 6 sound. And the train owned the ability to be a real contract killer. By God, I was gonna do it.
Yeah, I might have made a few mistakes, just like every real American.
This was gonna be the comeback of a century. I was gonna make the most and take advantage of every opportunity. You lucky dog. Here I come, Alburus. Here I come, Georgia Parole Boot Camp. Here I come, America.
Pushing yourself behind the limits of human suffering. Push yourself to push yourself. Mind, body, soul. To become something else.
I was gonna get out of this place with a 6 sound. And the train owned the ability to be a real contract killer. By God, I was gonna do it.
Yeah, I might have made a few mistakes, just like every real American.
This was gonna be the comeback of a century. I was gonna make the most and take advantage of every opportunity. You lucky dog. Here I come, Alburus. Here I come, Georgia Parole Boot Camp. Here I come, America.
Pushing yourself behind the limits of human suffering. Push yourself to push yourself. Mind, body, soul. To become something else.
A sharp weapon to be wielded.
Steak, potatoes, apple pie, baseball.
An undercover gay
Sex.
sex.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all that.
Shitting out. Solid.
By the end of it all, I will earn back my respect. To be a malleable piece of clay hardened into iron. Oh, sex.
This is your chance. This is your chance to get back.
Obstacle courses, rope climbing, walking, running, hiking,
Spelunking.
climbing, Everest, being an alpinist, apple pie, steak, baseball, eating sand and washing it down with salt water.
The imagination ran wild. The possibilities were endless.